It is time for the hour of power with the Heroic Vibration podcast. On this week episode, we're gonna be talking about our first impressions on Krypton, Deadpool trailer, Spiderman 4 PS4, and more. And if you have any special requests for topics, hit us up on Twitter. What up with your YouTube and YouTube bust? It's your boy TripleCup Chuck, and I'm up. And you're tuning in to the Vibration podcast, where we talk about Marvel, DC, comic books, anime, video games, and more. Welcome to my humble abode. Let's go. Now we got the now we got the intro out the way. Let's go and get into these introductions. We got two special guests for y'all today. This is gonna be a masterpiece in the making. This is gonna be on the side of the Mona Lisa. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. You know what I'm saying? We got one of the hype mans for the brand. You know what I'm saying? Got a smooth voice, and he be laying them down. I'm talking about he be beating them with a bat. I don't have to say no more. He already know what I'm talking about. Man, go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know where they can find you at.
Hey guys, this is E-Rock X, the Don King of Xbox, the hype man for the Xbox brand, and the meanest man on Twitter. Check me out on Twitter. It's E-Rock X at Twitter, and the YouTube channel. It's E-Rock X also. Like, hate, or subscribe.
And I mean, you can do everything. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, next up, we got, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm supposed to be standing to a pledge of allegiance or I'm not that patriotic. I better if it ain't gaming, it ain't me. That's all that could be. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself. He ain't got his eye patch no more. I guess they cut him out the season. You know what I'm saying? Let me introduce everybody to the world, to the governor. Introduce yourself to everybody.
Oh my God, Cup, man, that intro, bro. I'm ready to go fight somebody after that intro, man. I feel like Rocky going up the fucking steps right now, bro. What's up, everybody? It's the Gov. I'm one of the hosts of the Console Corner podcast. Excited to be here. You can follow me on Twitter at its_the_Gov, or you can find me on Ghostbeast. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you coming on, man. You too, E-Rock, man. Yeah, know what I'm saying? This is gonna be hype. Let's get hype. Know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna attempt to do it because he changed it on me, so I gotta start all the way over. So I'm going from scratch. So it's not yo, it's Ro. Come on, go ahead and do it.
Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. It's the console life for me. Yeah. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. It's the Xbox life indeed. And yo it's Kaleidoscope, man. Happy to be on here. Y'all can check me out at DirectX-the on Twitter, on my YouTube channel, Kaleidoscope, or on Xbox Live at just plain Kaleidoscope. And that's what's up, man. Let's get in it.
That's all the way up. That's all the way up. Hey, next up, I'm gonna keep it short. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go into this hog mode and start smashing on the ground and be like, bloody motherfucking knuckles. Do your shit.
Yo, you know what it is? It's bloody motherfucking knuckles, aka the big dog. And I'm only loyal to muscle off. What's up, everybody? You know what it is, man? Just here, the native nerd, aka Gothic Gamer, chilling out. Always love to be out here, man. Of course, you can find me on Twitter at Bloody Knuckles, and of course on my show on Saturdays on the Smash Podcast.
That's what's up. That's what's up. That's bloody. But next up, he a juggernaut in more than different on one area. You know what I'm saying? I went from Destiny, but Destiny is not even non-speakable, but like how No Man's Sky coming to Xbox is not even talked about no more. So he just a juggernaut in gaming. Man, Savage, go on, introduce yourself and let them know where they can find you at.
What's up? This Savage Carter. You know what I'm saying? I got the emails and all that, but I really don't want nobody hitting me up on it. If you want to find me, just look up Savage Carter on the Xbox. Hit me up on there. 9 times out of 10, I hit you back unless I'm playing Monster Hunter.
Man, I know about that Monster Hunter life, bro. That's all it is.
Yeah, Monster Hunter.
Unless they playing Monster Hunter 2, then you're guaranteed.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, first off, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what everybody been up to and what, you know what I'm saying, what y'all been doing and stuff like that, you know, the warming up, you know, because just for people that's coming in, because everybody's still kind of stumbling in, you know, it's a drunken party where everybody had their cups up, you know what I'm saying, cheers. So let's start off with you, GKB, you know, what you been up to, what you been playing, what you been watching, you know, just give a little world a little insight about yourself.
Yeah, man. I checked out Krypton. I've been watching that The Terror too, which is an interesting show. I've been playing a lot of Far Cry 5. That's about really it lately. doing the podcast stuff and all that kind of cool stuff. So
Yeah, that Far Cry 5 is good as everybody's saying it to be.
Man, there's some people out there saying it's better than Far Cry 3. I'm not there yet, man. Like Voss is a freaking awesome character from Far Cry 3, and it's one of my favorite Far Cries. It's definitely up there, maybe second place, but I don't think it takes Far Cry 3 yet.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying? It's just like your opening impressions of the game so far, right?
Yeah, like I'm enjoying the crap out of it. Like I like going around the world, you know, doing all the quests and going and seeing all these cool characters. Like I don't know how much of you guys got to play with it, but like the Testy Festy quest is just fucking hilarious in this game. You're just going around collecting like bull balls and shit for this festival, and it's just hilarious.
Man, that's all like South Park right there.
Yeah, dude, it's kind of like that, man. They got like these weird quests that you go on, man. It's just funny. So I'm enjoying the crap out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing game. It feels good to be a gamer. Gamer.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, E-Rock, what you been up to? Man, I know the world want to know this because, man, when you mention E-Rock name, something about everything around Twitter started melting. Man, what you been up to, man?
Oh man, I've been enjoying Sea of Thieves for the last couple of weeks. It really is a phenomenal game for those who haven't tried it. It's something that I'm not going to say I'm not going to general. It's something that I asked for. I asked for something different this generation because I've played a lot of adventure games. I've played all the shooters. I've played all the racing games. I've played all the single player action games and interactive movies. I asked for something different. I didn't know that this something different was going to be a pirate simulator. I had no idea that something different was going to be a game where, whether with a crew of 3 other guys or by myself, we're out here by ourselves in the sea at the mercy of everybody else in the game world. It totally changes like the parameters of what I was expecting gaming to be. I mean, you're just out there, and it's kill or be killed, and it's something different. And I've been having a blast with it, Chuck.
Wow, man. Hey, you made me want to go get a pelican and put on my shoulder. Hey, and I said, hey, hold up. Just to let everybody know, I said the right bird. I'm from Louisiana. That's the bird we have.
I know, right? They might start calling you out in the comments. It's supposed to be a parrot.
That's right. Their team is called the Pelicans. He's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Man, hey, you just sold the shit out of that game. I'm gonna go play it. I maybe want to play it again tonight. So what about you, Bloody?
Man, just like Colada, man, I can't get off that damn Monster Hunter, man. I'm stuck on it. I love it too much. I don't care what people say, man. I already had 300 hours in that game. I can't stop. And what's funny is I'm only like hunter rank 65. I was like, I still gotta finish getting all the achievements and getting up to hunter rank 100. Man, I don't even have half the armor yet. I'm still trying to work on all that.
Dang.
Damn, right, you might need to link up with Savage. He probably he gonna boost you real fast.
Probably, but all I gotta wait is till tomorrow.
Cheese sticks real good.
All I need is till tomorrow because that's when the new spring event. Because man, I'll tell you what, they know how to update that game and keep it going. But the spring event comes out tomorrow. They're bringing back all the event quests that they did over the past few months. It's gonna be a big shit, man. I'm excited for it. And then, man, all the games that are coming out here in the next month alone. Whew, talk about good time, man.
Yeah,
God of War and then State of Decay, man.
I'm just waiting on the Devil May Cry gear.
Yeah,
one day.
Speaking about that, what you been up to, Savage?
Oh, Monster Hunter.
Little Tomb Raider in there just for a little mix. Just a little bit.
Nah, other than that, I've been playing Naruto.
Oh, he on that Naruto.
Yeah, I've been having fun with Naruto.
Which one?
All of them.
All of them. Okay.
Storm 1 through 4.
All right. Oh, you've been playing Ultimate Ninja Storm.
Going back through your lists, huh? So what about
other than that, I just been, I bought Far Cry and I just never started it. I was gonna start it after we get out this podcast.
I just can't get into Far Cry. you know, with Far Cry 5, I'm glad people are enjoying it.
You must have just hit GKB. What he was just talking about all the stuff they won't have in that game.
Well, man, what's up, man? Bloody, you don't want to go after a bull's nutsack?
I'm sorry. I'm Southern. We don't like them. Those Rocky Mountain oysters. No, thank you.
Yeah. You can keep going.
Y'all keep those.
I'm just saying, man. I played Ark for 4 years. I ain't really worried too much about all that.
Oh man, I love it. Ark was fun though, man. I still have some crazy builds in that game.
Man, we went crazy with that game now. So what about you, Kaleidoscope? What you been up to, man? What's good?
Right. Actually, well, I'm on episode 5 of Altered Carbon. All right, and then I was actually going to watch episode 6 that evening because I actually watched that during the day. I think the day before yesterday, and I actually caught the last Pirates of the Caribbean film on Netflix. I hadn't seen it yet. Dead Man Tell No Tales. So I decided to put it on, and I really, really enjoyed it, man. That should have been the follow-up to the 3, literally.
Nice.
Because the 4th one, I wasn't really feeling it. But this one, I was feeling. And the thing is that halfway through the movie, Sea of Thieves keeps popping up in my head while I'm watching this movie. I'm like, wow, man. I was like, okay. So the minute the movie finished, which I thoroughly enjoyed, I jumped right back on Sea of Thieves, all right? And we did a Skull Fort raid and did a couple of crazy shenanigans and whatnot that you could only do in Sea of Thieves. Besides that, I watched the most recent episode of Black Lightning just before the podcast started. Shit was dope, all right? The thunderclap is in there, all right? And as far as gaming, well, Bloody, I haven't played Monster Hunter since Sea of Thieves came out. And I'm at Hunter rank 68, and I have 314 hours.
Yeah.
And it's been a couple of weeks, bro. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yo, I finally ran into the
man. I need to get back
day.
into it. I haven't even fought against that Double Joe character that they threw out, man.
No, but speaking of Sea of Thieves, I finally ran into the Kraken with my group, and dude, everyone's first reaction was just like, "Oh shit, it's the Kraken!"
I know everybody starts freaking out when they come across it, yo.
Because the fact that we're just like, let's go turn to this stuff, and he shows up, and then we only have like 60 some odd cannonballs, and we're just wasting every shot.
Wow.
It was the worst.
Wow, man. That's what's up.
That's been my purpose to play. And I still ain't found the Kraken.
Yeah, you and me both.
I came across it twice. I got lucky with that one.
Is that lucky or unlucky? I'm just curious.
It depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, since it's a rare occurrence and I've gotten to experience it twice, I'd rather say that's lucky.
I'm trying to dive in his mouth with my sword like Jack Sparrow.
Yo, man, the fact that they make the water completely black, and when that thing kidnaps you and you can't see anything underwater, it's just terrifyingly claustrophobic.
Yeah, because he tries to drown you at one moment. But that's pretty dope. I actually ran across the Kraken like 5 times, man. The 5th time, though, he didn't actually attack us. He attacked one of the galleons that was attacking us. Right? So we just dipped. We was like, screw them. You know what I'm saying? They want their beef. Well, now you got beef.
Man, y'all
but the other 4 times, we basically went up against them. The first time, though, was like the most exciting, though. I can't front.
Y'all should have used that time to shoot and sink their boat.
Nah, we could have, man. But
I sat back and watched it and recorded that.
Every experience against the Kraken was different because that first time we was getting attacked by 2 sloops, one on the left and right hand side of our galleon. And the minute the Kraken attacked us, that tentacle slapped across the bow of the ship, and threw my character back. I was just freaking out. Right there, the 2 swoops, they decided to team up with us, and they started attacking the Kraken. So it was like 3 boats attacking the Kraken all at once. All right. And the other times, it was just a completely different experience. You know what I'm saying? When we was able to get away from the Kraken, one time he ran away. The captain of the ship wanted to chase the Kraken. Now we're like, nah, screw the Kraken. We need to turn into this sloop. Right? Because we don't want to be stuck at sea with all this treasure.
Nah.
So pretty much when y'all got y'all chance to escape, y'all escape.
Yeah. I was like, dude, it's like if he left us alone, let's leave him alone. Let's let him be.
Yeah, y'all such pirates. But not have nothing to do with pirates. But anyway, though, so that's pretty much all you've been up to.
Nah, besides that, playing Dragon Ball Fighter Z that I've been getting a lot into. I actually was playing some Ninja Gaiden, old school Ninja Gaiden, the first one, since they added on back compat. And what else I've been playing? Oh, and I decided to start redoing Mass Effect Andromeda.
Nice.
I started replaying that recently, and I'm basically going through the storyline again, but doing every little thing that's in the game. Right, I actually want 100% it, which I don't normally do.
I think I did that.
I'm gonna let you know it must be a nice game.
Well, I definitely loved it. Know what I'm saying?
I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
they had
Everybody has their pros and cons. Know what I'm saying? But it's just like the colors of the rainbow. Not everybody likes the same color, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And I'll say one thing I like that they did right. The action and the RPG aspects of that and the shooting mechanics was definitely good. But I really liked their dialogue options in that one. Like, I don't get me wrong, I'm all for the Paragon Renegade, all that from the classic. But this one made your responses feel more personalized to you because I played that as like a sarcastic asshole to every person. Because that's exactly how I would respond. Like every time the dude tried to be threatening, I'd just be sarcastic in his face. I'm like, I was just like, that felt more me than just trying to talk all tough as a Paragon guy or just be a dick like Renegade. It felt more personalized, and I like that. And plus, any character of any sex was just being romanced out the ass. I don't give a shit. I'll be a space slut. I'll do it.
Don't get it, huh?
Hey, man. Hey, if you play it right, you can have up to 3 or 4 partners in that game as a male, and I think 3 as a female. Because you can have the reporter on the space hub, and you can have the museum curator on the Angaran home planet. You could date both of them, even though you have a love interest out of the crew.
That's what's up. So you could get some booty on the sly.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And you could be working PB all the way until you dedicate to someone anyway. So you can be working as many as you can.
Man, check him out. He like that. He like that. Look at him. Look at him. He like that. That's what's up.
Leave it to Bloody to find out.
Hey man, every time I played Mass Effect, my character was always a space slut and would work as many people had to make a decision. That's when it became hard. I'm just like, God damn it.
Yeah, that's way too much information. some stuff, way too much information. But let's go ahead and get into these topics, man. Let's go ahead and get to these topics. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I want to ask y'all about have y'all seen Krypton? What's y'all first impressions of it? You know what I'm saying? I know they got some people that might feel slighted to the left. Some people might feel slighted to the right. So, you know what I'm saying? I want to start off with E-Rock and see what he think about Superman's grandfather's grandfather. I think that's what he is, huh? His great-great-grandfather or something like that.
His father's father?
Yeah, Dan father.
No, it's his grandfather. It's his grandfather.
Man. No, his grandfather was the little bitty child at the beginning when his child grandfather died. So that'd be his grand. Okay, y'all right. So what you think about it?
I haven't. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
It sounds like I don't know who's got all that feedback, man. It sounds like one of y'all broadcasting from the International Space Station. Everybody all right?
Yeah.
All right.
That would be Kaleidoscope using the rescue symbol out there.
I don't know. No, I don't think that's. Say something, Cloud.
What, yo?
Yeah, it's coming from
Cloud. No, hold on. Say something, Savage.
Yo.
There you go. It's gone, huh? That's what it was.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen Krypton yet. I've seen the trailers. I know it's on Sci-Fi Network. The trailer for it looked good. I mean, they showed Brainiac. That looked tight. I'm really right now into Legends of Tomorrow, and I hope that's not me, that noise. From what I've seen from the trailer so far, man, what I don't get is I understand a lot of these new television shows, they got to go for a hip young demographic. Like the trailer was mixed to rap music, which totally doesn't work for Krypton or Superman. And everybody looked young and pretty, like they were in a fucking Abercrombie and Fitch commercial. Like if we learned anything from the last season of Doctor Who, there's some merit to having some mature actors in a television show. I got nothing against young people, but sometimes having maybe for those of you who have seen this show, answer me a question. Is Kal-El's great grandfather at least like an adult? He's not that young kid they showed on the trailer.
Yeah, no, not What about like in his mid-20s, something like that?
Yeah, he's like his 20s. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, there was something about. See, guys, I go back to. Oh man, I'm about to expose my age, but fuck it. I go back to Superman the movie from 1978. Okay, and having Marlon Brando play Jor-El lended some fucking weight to the role. And having Russell Crowe play Jor-El in 2013 landed some weight to the role. I holy shit, I hope that's not me. Damn. It sounds like aliens trying to break through it up in here. I'll watch it eventually.
Maybe the Dominators.
Yeah, the trailer really didn't do anything for me, Chuck. So I can't comment on it other than I'm gonna check it out soon. I was impressed with Brainiac. Brainiac looked like how he's supposed to look, but other than that, man, the cast just looks too young. But I mean, no, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, but just think about it like as this is a whole uncharted territory. This is like discovering something brand new, so they can't go wrong. They just gotta do something good.
I got you.
Yeah. So what about you, GKB?
Yeah, man. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the Krypton show. I like where they were going. Like to me, like, you know, Superman's just like this such God character, and I don't really like Superman that much before that fact. But what I liked is when they went to Krypton, like everybody's kind of human. They don't have power, so it's it's like this whole power struggle, political kind of thing going on right now. And I just like where the story is going. I like how they started off, they took all their rank and stuff from L and all that. And it's just like his whole trial and tribulations, and how Adam Strange came there and was like, hey, I need you to do this. Like, you need to save Superman. He's, not going to be around if you don't stop, Brainiac and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm enjoying the story. I mean, I've only watched the first one, so we'll have to see where it goes and if it continues on that track. But I think the visual effects, I think, the cinematography and everything was like top notch. For a TV show, I thought it was pretty great. And I liked the whole Brainiac thing when they were showing that as well. So.
Right. I feel you on them. Hey, but just what about this here? You got Superman grandfather. Then you got a person coming to him saying, you have to let your planet die so your son could save my planet.
Right.
How hard that is to try to convince somebody to do.
Well, he doesn't really come off and saying, hey, your planet's going to die. He's more of like, you need to save your planet. So he's not really letting him on to like, hey, your planet's actually going to die. But so he's playing it to that effect where he's trying to get him on board. I think eventually he's going to find out and be pretty pissed off about the whole thing. But I think he's going to, come to the fact that, this, Superman's going to go and save the rest of the universe kind of thing.
Right. He'll still have a little fighting chance.
Yeah.
But with that Flash shirt you got on, talking about no superpowers. Yeah. So what about you, Bloody?
I actually watched the first episode. I actually just got around to catching it, and so far I've been really digging it. Like he brought up, is that Brainiac, the glimpses they showed, that's exactly what he should look like. That is absolutely the best view of him, and some of the best way to really show off that character and the design for him. Mm-hmm. I love it. It's absolutely accurate to some of the classic portrayals of Brainiac, and especially what we saw more recently with Injustice. It's one of the most modern ways to do it, and it's done so well. It's hard to say. And he does
actually show. I don't mean to cut you off, man. I apologize. I like how they showed like he's the collector of worlds. Like he has all the worlds and like in a ship and stuff. And I was like, that's so cool. I was like nerding out on that whole thing.
Oh yeah, that was probably one of the greatest ways that they could kind of tease him. And I do agree with you that I like the way that they're doing it. Is that he's just like, hey, you need to save Krypton, but he's not showing it, because I think that's going to add an interesting dynamic later, because it's going to bring some conflict between both of them. It's just like, you didn't tell me saving my planet meant letting it die. You're just like, but you don't understand. This is the only way to save the honor of your house, because of what Superman does and stuff like that. It can add into an interesting dynamic, because it is an unexplored territory. We don't see many stories about the history of Krypton before, the destruction for Superman. We really don't have anything on that kind of history. No. So this whole show in itself is a very unique concept, and it's hard to do something bad that hasn't been done before, but they have to make it good because if not, then it'll be bad.
That's some good points. I have nothing to combat that with. So what about you, Savage?
I haven't seen it.
Oh man.
Oh,
Hey, at least you could have been like, I was halfway interested, but you was like, I ain't seen
it. He's just like, nah, fuck that shit.
Yeah, that's over with, huh?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I ain't never really liked Superman.
Oh man, look, this is the second guy that said he doesn't like Superman. What kind of bullshit podcast is this?
I mean, you gotta what's going on? Oh, come, all right. I'm gonna have to stop you right there, E-Rock. Superman is overrated and powerful just to be fucking powerful. And this is post or pre-Crisis Superman, all right? He had some of the stupidest powers just because they said, fuck it, let's just give it to him all. Post-Crisis is a little bit all right because the fact that he did put those mental blocks on him from being able to
What is this, the Weapon Wheel podcast show?
Whoa. No. You calm down there, sir.
He said, why y'all hating on Superman?
No, I'm just saying that Superman is one of the most overrated Boy Scout characters.
You like an underdog.
Dude, are you
that's your opinion.
Are you
gonna speak for everybody?
American? That's like hating apple pie.
Look, hating apple pie is hating the man named after America. That's hating Captain America. Look, Superman, no.
Let me guess. You're one of those guys that wore a dashiki to go see Black Panther, aren't you? Listen,
no,
Superman. The whole point.
Actually, just wears the t-shirt and jeans.
Oh, okay, good. The whole point of Superman is. And I liked Chuck. I hate to get off a subject, but he attacked Superman. I gotta come.
That's very bad. Let's go.
The best representation of Superman was in the late '80s by a famous Marvel artist who went to DC briefly called John Byrne. And what John Byrne did when he went to DC and did a comic book run called The Man of Steel was he brought Superman back down to reality. Every power Superman had to obey the laws of physics. That Superman made sense. I never agreed with him in the 80s and early 80s and the 60s, shoving planets around and flying into space. None of that made any sense. But the whole point of a Superman is that here is this guy sent here in a rocket by his parents. He could have landed anywhere. He could have landed in Japan. He could have landed in Russia. He could have landed anywhere, but he lands on a fucking farm in Kansas, right? And these Christian people instill him with goodness, which enables him to, plus his father's training from Krypton, which enables him to go on his mission of being a symbol for mankind. Now, here's the trick. The trick is he wants to throw that touchdown in the football game. He wants to go and grab all the terrorists, and he wants to go and grab all the nuclear missiles, but he realizes he can't. That's the beauty of Superman. He has all this power. He could be our conqueror, but he chooses not to. Therefore, he is not an overpowered god. He is not an overrated super. In fact, in the words of the great artist Alex Ross, he is one of the most complex characters we have ever seen. What must he sleep with each night, having to hear millions of screams and cries and knowing that he can't answer them all? Therein lies the dilemma of being Superman.
I mean, I get your point, but I think every superhero goes through that same thing. They can't. They
don't. They can't. It's impossible because
they can't hear it.
Because
like, hang on.
Superman actually. Superman. No, I'm not. I don't mean to cut you off. Superman actually hears those cries.
I get what you're saying. I get
every last one of them.
But we can't go on the fact that every superhero deals with that dilemma. What person did I not help tonight, and all that other stuff. And I hear you as far as like a Superman as a character and his vulnerabilities, like where he can't use his powers for everything, and you know his whole family dynamic and all that kind of stuff too. But I gotta be honest, the best Superman comic that I've probably ever read was All-Star Superman. And the reason
that was a good one, yeah,
is because of his vulnerabilities and he was dying and how he was dealing with that. Mm-hmm. That's the problem that I have with Superman as a comic book is he is that God character and he doesn't have a lot of vulnerabilities like outside of how do I deal with the whole human, I'm an alien.
He is more emotional than anything.
Yeah. And that's where I really like All-Star Superman, is because you got to see that part of Superman.
Right.
He was going through that whole death thing.
And it's a good thing that you mentioned that you talk about, John Byrne and what he did with Man of Steel, because the fact that you have to remember that was post Crisis. That's the big thing. Post
Crisis of Infinite Earths. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm 49 years old. I was there for it.
Yeah. Post Crisis, Superman got some better treatment on how they were portraying him, because a lot of people felt that after Crisis on Infinite Earths that they needed to make Superman a little bit more grounded.
Ground him, yeah.
And that's the reason why I was saying that post-Crisis, when he realized the powers that he had, he put those mental blocks on himself until he felt that he had the enough control and the true will to be able to use those powers properly, because if he ever got out of control, that's where post-Crisis Superman was still better, but his power is still overwhelmingly so, with very, very few invulnerabilities. But a lot of storylines since then have really made him more of a grounded character, even though he may not have as many physical invulnerabilities. They show more of the humanistic side of him. That's the one part where he shows, because Superman is a literal god amongst humans. He is literally that, but they show that he's still very much so grounded and human, just like Batman is. That if you look at a lot of what they did with the Agamemnon contingency plans, especially for Batman, and talk about, he's human. They're both human. They both have that aspects. That's where their biggest vulnerability is. If anything were to happen to Lois, or if anything were to happen to Superman's mom, that would affect him more than anything else in the world.
Right. I agree. And who is this? Is this Bloody Knuckles?
Yeah,
Bloody Knuckles.
And back in the 90s, and especially the mid 90s and late 90s. I'm sorry, guys, I didn't mean to get off track. There was a artist named Alec McGuinness. He understood that Superman was this overpowered character that Bloody Knuckles is talking about. So they pit him against insanely overpowered dudes like the Anti-Monitor, like Mongol, stuff that was a job for Superman. He should not be like fighting the Joker. He should not be like fighting. He should be dealing with dark side and challenges that are up to his god. Like, you don't call Superman
his skill level.
Yeah. You don't call him to bring in a couple of purse snatchers or some guys who just robbed the First National Bank. That's not his scene anymore. But I can understand where you're going with him being too overpowered.
All right, as long as we understand that's my complaints about him, is that
okay.
it took him way too long to.
Hey, but look.
Yo,
we still ain't got.
We haven't gotten to me yet, bro.
Yeah, we didn't get to Collide. Let's Collide go ahead and do his thing, man. So
all right, Collide, you
we get it at a different angle.
All right. Well, I haven't watched Krypton either. All right. But from all the stuff that I've seen and the pics that I've seen on Brainiac does look legit. All right. The production values actually look pretty high. And actually, I disagree with what E-Rock said earlier about the young cast. All right, because I love the 100, and that's a young cast. All right,
okay,
very well acted show.
Great show.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good ass show. It doesn't matter if the cast is young. And then you brought up Marlon Brando. That could have been his great grandfather, yo. All right, that's how old Marlon Brando looked in the first Superman. All right, Russell Crowe though was more like his dad. You know what I'm saying? But Marlon Brando, he was old as dirt when he did that. But that's just me. All right, that's just my preference. Now, I do agree with Man of Steel and John Byrne. I was going to bring that up before E-Rock mentioned it. All right, John Byrne, that comic run of Man of Steel was the inspiration for the movie. All right, the stuff that we saw in Krypton in that movie Man of Steel that came out a few years back was from that John Byrne.
That was like 2000.
All right,
2000 and what? One?
No, not 2001. It's probably talking like 2010, something like that. Man of
Steel.
Steel.
2013's Man of Steel.
Yeah, 2013. Look at
13, 11, yeah.
2013. But it's from that run from the 80s, all right, by John Byrne, all right, where he actually humanized Superman and brought him down to Earth. You know what I'm saying? That's when he had weaknesses like magic, all right, because before then he was like immune to everything, all right. But after that, that's when, basically they made him a more grounded character. All right, and I really enjoyed that run. I was following the X-Men comic books at the time, Uncanny X-Men, Fantastic Four, which was also written and penciled by John Byrne. And then he moved over to DC. I was like, okay, I could feel this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then John Byrne did another miniseries back in the day, during that time that he was at DC, called Legends. Do you remember that?
Legends, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
All right.
Very
Know what I'm
good.
saying? And I know that's the inspiration for Legends of Tomorrow. All right,
Very
because
good.
it's the same lettering.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay. I was like, I'm starting to feel this stuff. Know what I'm saying? A lot of these creators, even though they jump ship, like Brian Michael Bendis did recently, right? Now he's working for DC. And who is Brian Michael Bendis writing? He's writing Superman. Out of all the DC characters, he had to pick of the litter because this guy wrote everything in Marvel from Fantastic Four to Spider-Man to X-Men to everything under the sun. Daredevil, he had an incredible run on Daredevil. And then they put him in DC, and what's the character they give? Superman. Know what I'm saying? In order to make a more grounded Superman, a person that you could actually know what his thoughts are. And some people actually say, like, oh, you can't really relate to Superman, but you actually can. I mean, think about it. He's an illegal alien, people.
The ultimate illegal alien.
Yeah, the ultimate illegal alien. And then he's, brought up in, those old school wholesome values and whatnot from, the Midwest and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Growing up on a farm, a lot of people that grow up on farms could sympathize with stuff like that. They made a comic book series called Smallville, World of Smallville, back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Where people actually enjoyed those aspects. Now, as far as Krypton, from where they're going, and just Adam Strange being in it, that gives me all kinds of freaking geeky thoughts, because Adam Strange is like one of my favorite characters from DC. And just the way that it seems like it's going to be evolving, the way the governor has stressed what went on the show as well as Bloody, it got me really excited to actually see it. So I can't really wait to see it, really.
Definitely
I'm looking forward to it.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Hey, Triple Cup. Look
Yeah,
at the guy. Look at the guy from the console corner. He's looking like, what the fuck did I sign on for?
Pay attention.
Man, man, I've been rocking with GKB for a while, man. He know how I rock, so he probably had a big idea of how it was coming.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, but like how Kaleidoscope, he was saying about the young cast. What y'all think about John Boyega? I think I pronounced it right.
John Boyega.
Boyega. What y'all think about that? Yeah. So that he's in talks with the MCU about becoming a character. The dude coming straight from Star Wars to the MCU. You know what I'm saying? Right now
keeping it in the family, right?
Right, yeah. Country. But
I'm not surprised, to be fair.
But yeah, so just out of curiosity, I want to get y'all opinion. Who y'all think will be the role he'll go for? Which, what character? I don't want to throw, me personally, I ain't gonna throw out no names. I want to hear everybody different opinions about this here first. So I'll start off with you, Savage. Who you think that he'll play come from Star Wars to the MCU from a Jedi?
Man, I have no idea.
Think about all the characters in MCU he could play.
That's a good answer.
That's about the best I can give you. Like, I don't know. Like, he could be what's the Night Watch.
Night Watch.
Oh, but that's being done by Sony.
Oh well, I give up.
I like that guy.
Savage is on one focus right now. I already know what it is. But so what about you, Bloody?
Me, I've been talking about it before because I don't know if anyone here's seen the mock-up, but I dig the way that he looks dressed up as Blade, and I've been talking about is that there has to be enough reference to Wesley Snipes' time as Blade because he had to have that kind of have that handoff and passing of the torch for me personally. But I think that he could do the character right. He would definitely have to do a lot to really get into the action more sense of it, because that's where Wesley Snipes shined as Blade, is that he was an action star before going into that character. So he was able to do a lot of that. And Boyega's done some small things between Star Wars and then what he recently did and the new Pacific Rim movie. But he would have to go through a lot of training because you got to look at what they do behind the scenes to set everyone up, especially for someone like how they did Tom Holland training him for Spider-Man. Like Boyega would have to go through a lot of that kind of to really.
Bloody. What I could say is look at Ryan Reynolds, man.
Yeah, Ryan.
I'm saying he wasn't an action star before Blade Trinity. Who was he? He was what? That dude Wilder?
Van Wilder.
Yeah, Van Wilder.
Van Wilder, dude. You know what I'm saying? That's who he was. And then he did a Marvel movie, right? Which wasn't a really big Marvel production back then, know what I'm saying? But they did a movie for New Line featuring a Marvel character, which was Blade. And they got him in shape and they showed him choreography.
Yep.
And then guess what? Now he's Deadpool to everybody across the world.
Yep. And he came back 4 years later when they did the
Don't forget he was
Wolverine
the Green
Origins,
Lantern.
the Wolverine Origins movie. When he portrayed that, he got into it again. But
I want to forget
that. We all want to forget that. Trust it, we all want to forget that. But I'm saying I think Boyega would be perfect for that character. They could add a new dynamic to the
You
to
don't
the
have
Marvel
to say
universe.
it, but I will.
But I think that he would make if he brought in that character, they would have to make a strong appeal to the old Blade fans and everything else. But
What's
if they
nice to
added
give
Blade,
a cameo, that's it. Do a Stan Lee cameo, that's it.
yeah. I mean, even still, that would be just enough, to really give an acknowledgement. Or some people are saying that make Boyega like Blade's kid, or make Boyega's version is Blade's son. But the best thing about it is that it would add a new dynamic because it's like, hey, there are vampires in the MCU, and Blade is one of the more supernatural based characters, along with like Ghost Rider and others. So Constantine is DC, bro.
I was trying to see if I was gonna trip you up.
No, but you would get
you were running it.
It's like Count Dracula.
Like, but you would also get like Ghost Rider, a lot more of the supernatural based characters that are able to bring into it. So it will be an interesting take. As for anyone else, I couldn't really see him doing much others. Of course, they do pull a lot of random B-list superheroes and can make the big. So there may be someone else that he could really do.
Okay, that's a good answer. But the MCU, they is not touching Blade. I mean, it's too bloody, and that ain't the MCU. That's more of a Netflix, and he too big of a star to play in Netflix. So I don't see Blade. I mean, just me personally, you know what I'm saying? So what about you, GKB?
Yeah, I mean, I seen that picture of him dressed up as Blade too. To be honest, I just love Wesley Snipes as Blade. I just love all those, except for the Trinity one, but the other two are just fantastic. The other thing, like, I was reading this article before the show, and it caught my eye from like the Nerdist and stuff as like Wonder Man would be an interesting one, just like how he infiltrated into the Avengers, kind of like tried to destroy him within, then turned on the guy he was working for, and then became an Avenger kind of thing. Like, who knows, like, with the stars that are currently playing in the Avengers movies, some of them might want to move on and do other things, and I think that would be really cool if they did something like that and then brought him to the Avengers some way, somehow.
Speaking of, since you mentioned the Nerdist, there was one suggestion I heard is that Blue Marvel would actually be an interesting role for him that he could do, because Blue Marvel hasn't been seen in the MCU or in the Marvel universe for quite some time.
Yeah, they were talking about Captain Britain.
That was gonna say.
No, not really, because Blue Marvel would be like an older character. Well,
yeah.
I mean, but the time period when they portrayed him as, though, you gotta think about it that way too.
Nah, it was more than one time period. That's what I had to think about. He probably could play him as being as a younger, like when he was serving in the military in the 60s. But as far as when he actually get his powers and all that, he didn't play it.
Okay, I feel that's what's up. So what you're saying, GKB?
Yeah, I think Blue Marvel would be a cool one. I mean, I agree with what Savage was saying there. Captain Britain too, because he is an Englishman. Like, that kind of makes sense, but I think there's some right stuff behind that with the MCU and everything. So I don't know if that'll happen. But, yeah, but that's kind of what I would like to see. I'd like to see him do something. I don't know. We do a lot of the whole mainstream characters. I'd like to see some of these other characters that don't get, as notoriety as some of these bigger ones. So I'd like to see him do one of those for sure.
Yeah, like how Killmonger was a smidget in the MCU.
Yeah.
And they actually blew him up to be a big character. And I like when they, the small stories to me is the best stories. I don't like we got to say the world. I like this neighborhood or something that personally going on in my life. Like Logan. I mean, it's a lot of movies like when they just do their personal life. This to me is better than they got to say the planet from or what the Avengers 2 was. Actually, all the Avengers movies so far have been like that. We got to save the world.
Yeah,
But that's the Avengers, though.
yeah,
That's
that's
what
the
it.
thing.
I mean,
The
yeah,
Avengers should be like that.
yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it makes sense, but you know, saying with me personally, my favorites are more aligned in the personal ones, like that Batman one where you know, saying when they show from the Joker perspective, the
Oh,
Dark
absolutely,
Knight.
bro. Yeah,
You know, saying you got to feel a personal perspective. Like he ain't care about money. You're not good at it just to see him on the ground level. Like, man, you can't persuade him or change his mind for nothing. Nothing you could do. His mind is already set. So, you know, something like that is just personal. You know, I like the personal stories. You know, they touch me more.
Man, that was because of the methadones.
Yeah. Hey, it was a little bit of everything. So, so what about you, Colada?
I like the thing about smaller characters. All the suggestions actually were on point. And I really enjoyed them, especially Wonder Man. Wonder Man is like one of my favorites from Marvel. You know what I'm saying? And he would actually be pretty legit in the Marvel universe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My bet though is that he might be playing Nova, but I would love it if he was to play Wonder Man. Definitely, man. And as far as smaller characters, Freeform signed actually that they're already filming 2 seasons apiece of The New Warriors and America Chavez. All right. And America Chavez is actually one of my favorite characters in Marvel and whatnot because of who she is and her power set. And that's going to be very interesting. But I'm definitely digging the Wonder Man thing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So this one here is kind of like, you know, I'm skeptical about asking this question, but I'm going ahead asking anyway, right? So who do you think he should play?
Wow. I don't know because I'm boycotting both Disney and Marvel, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who he plays. He could play a clown who goes to your house and tricks you into buying life insurance, and it'll still make $1 billion. Does it matter? Does it matter at this point? I mean, does it?
Right.
I mean,
hey, matter of fact, at this point, let's dive into this here. I'm gonna give you your moment. So, why are you boycotting the MCU and Disney?
all right. There's 2 separate issues. And then after I've had my piece, you all can gang up on me and jump on me and read me the riot act, and it's perfectly fine. This doesn't come from a place of hate. And contrary to the teaser we let out earlier, I'm not here to diss Marvel. Why? Because during the early 2000s, I was a huge fan of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, although not a part of the MCU. During the early 2000s, I sat through all of those shitty films that got put out, the Fantastic Fours. I was one of the few advocates of Daredevil. That the director's cut is a far better movie than people gave it credit for. So I sat through all those movies. I even went to go see the Eric Bana version of the Hulk. So 2008 comes and me and my buddy, shout out to my mechanic Kevin Justice, somewhere out there probably drenched in motor oil. We go and see Iron Man. And like, okay, let's check out Iron Man, man. Like the Iron Man cartoon was the shit because the Marvel cartoons, the X-Men and Iron Man, I am Iron Man. Those were the shits back in the 90s. So we go see Iron Man, and it's my boy Robert Downey Jr., who I grew up with in the 80s, man. Weird Science, Back to School. Back to School, and Robert
Less
Downey
Than
Jr.
Zero.
Yeah, Less Than Zero. Robert Downey Jr. Either won an Academy Award or got Academy nominated for Chaplin, and then his career nosedived because just like us, he had personal problems. And we go and see Iron Man, directed by Jon Favreau, and this movie is funny. It's a hit, and it brings all of Robert Downey Jr.'s skills to bear. And I did a slow clap because other than being some overbearing actor from Hollywood, Robert Downey Jr. is one of us. His success was our success. So then The Incredible Hulk comes out with Edward Norton, which now viewed in 2018 lenses, it's all right. But then the Thor movie comes out, which is all right. But then Joe Johnson comes out of nowhere in the spring of 2011 and surprises us with Captain America: The First Avenger. I ran out and bought this movie when it came out on Blu-ray. Joe Johnston, a great director. He made a love letter to not just Captain America, but to World War II and to the character. And I love this movie. And I was one of the few guys who was telling everybody, because we have a lot of now bandwagon Captain America fans. I was telling everybody how awesome Captain America, the first Avenger, was. Oh, Captain America's corny. Fuck you, Iraq. I said, okay, whatever. So the Avengers comes in 2012, and I saw it 4 times. We are like geeking out, man. This is like everything that a comic book fan could ask for. A little bit hokey sometimes because Josh Whedon, Firefly, he likes the jokes, but the Avengers, a monumental hit. The MCU is here. Comic book fans, whether you're a DC fan, whether you're a Marvel fan, comic book fans are fucking happy. I'm happy until 2013. Man of Steel comes. Okay? Zack Snyder directed, and he's like, okay, guys, listen, E-Rock, I know you love Christopher Reeve as Superman, but we're going to pay homage to that. We're going to move away from that into a bit of a more serious direction, and we're going to forget that horrible Superman Returns ever happened. I'm on board. I'm with it. Man of Steel is a fantastic movie, 56% on Rotten Tomatoes, which at the time I paid no attention to Rotten Tomatoes. I loved the movie. Some folks said it was too violent. Superman now, as opposed to not punching enough things in 2006, he now punched too many things in 2013. So I'm like, okay, no big problem. Meanwhile, the MCU is rolling. We're enjoying these movies. Iron Man 2 comes, which I enjoyed. I mean, who don't like fucking Mickey Rourke? The other movies come, and I'm like, look, man, this is great, man. We have got wish fulfillment. Marvel and DC are both making movies. Then 2016 comes. Actually, before 2016, you asked for this question, TripleCup Chuck. So I'll be done this tirade in about a minute. 2013, Zack Snyder surprises everybody at Comic-Con and announces Batman versus Superman. People lose their minds. They're going nuts. They're adapting The Dark Knight Returns, and we're finally going to see 2 of the biggest characters in history on screen. As we DC fans were cheering, the media immediately began hating. A former good friend of mine's, a writer for IDon'tLikeYouInThatWay.com, because I too am a blog writer in my spare time, Todd Jacobs, started hating the movie before it was even filmed in 2013. We still got 3 years to go, folks, before this movie even gets released. People were hating on it. People were talking about it. And this hate had time to build for 3 years. So finally, I go see Batman vs. Superman. And because of the reviews that it's getting, the early reviews, me, a diehard DC fan, a guy who enjoyed Man of Steel, I look at my buddy Mark Stern. I'm like, Mark, I don't know, man. I think this movie's going to kind of suck according to these reviews. Me and Mark still get into the theater, and we were blown away by one of the deepest character studies of 3 damaged and broken men we've ever seen. It was poignant. It touched on everything that I look for in a comic book adaptation. 26% on Rotten Tomatoes. And I was like, wait a minute. Is this movie really that bad? It can't. Are we all seeing the same movie? About a month and a half later, 2 months later, Captain America Civil War comes out. And by the way, the last Marvel film that I actually paid to go see was Captain America the Winter Soldier, one of the finest films other than The Dark Knight, and the beautifully done Guardians of the Galaxy. Love those 2 films, but those were the last 2 films that I went to go see from the MCU because 2016 happened. And 2 months later, Captain America Civil War came out by the Russo brothers, which wasn't as good as Captain America the Winter Soldier, but it was the exact same fucking movie as Batman vs. Superman. Superheroes have a problem. Some people get killed in Africa. Now we're fighting in a fucking parking lot. That gets almost 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, E-Rock, it's time for you to wake up out of this fantasy, dude. People just don't like the DCEU. Get it in your fucking head. People don't like DC. Move on with your life, dude. You're in your 40s. Go find a woman, get some pussy, do something with your life. Then worrying about Rotten Tomatoes. July 2016 comes, and that horrible Ghostbusters reboot comes out, and it gets 76% on Rotten Tomatoes. I go and see the movie because I like Chris Hemsworth, and turns out Chris Hemsworth has got fantastic comedic timing. The movie Ghostbusters, the reboot, a complete waste of time, a complete social justice clusterfuck, 76%. So I began investigating Rotten Tomatoes and find out that Rotten Tomatoes, which is minority owned by WB, not majority, minority owned. Rotten Tomatoes has been in the habit of skewing reviews. Still didn't pay any attention to it. Suicide Squad comes. We can all admit the Suicide Squad is merely okay. Some pretty cool visuals, but merely okay. Not worth the 26% that it got, but that too received hate. And I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? You guys liked Thor: The Dark World? A movie that I completely forgotten. Thor: The Dark World is like a Chinese food, a Chinese meal. You go eat it, you shit it out, and a minute later, you're wondering if you even fucking ate. That's Thor: The Dark World. And I said to myself, E-Rock, what's going on here? Is it that people just don't like the DCEU? Could it be that every one of you guys on this panel may be thinking that the DCEU just doesn't make good films? Or is there something else going on? So finally, we get to 2017, and Wonder Woman comes out, and the world loves Wonder Woman, and I'm happy. I'm happy, TripleCup Chuck, because DC finally got a movie right. Then it turns
Wonder
out
Woman was a good movie.
Then it turns out at the same time that Wonder Woman's coming out, half of Hollywood is turning against Harvey Weinstein, and the Me Too movement's going on, and it turns out that no reviewer in their right mind would say shit about a movie directed by a woman during the Me Too movement. So I let that slide. I move on. Then November comes. And for some reason, DC, who they're partly to blame for a lot of the shit that happens to them, chooses to release Justice League 3 weeks after Thor Ragnarok. And I told my mechanic friend, my greasy mechanic I told about earlier, I said, Kevin, you watch this. They're going to love Thor Ragnarok, and they're going to fucking hate Justice League. You watch this. It happened just as I predicted. Now, I went to go see Justice League. I enjoyed Justice League. Was it as great as some of you thought it could have been? Possibly not. Was it as great as I hoped it could be? Yes, because as a 12-year-old kid, the 12-year-old kid in me got to see fucking parademons like Jay from Jay and Silent Bob.
Man,
we got to see.
Why you boycotting?
We got to see. I'm going to get to that. We got to see parademons. Finally. And then it occurred to me, you know what, man? The media, before Justice League even came out, well, Henry Cavill's got a fucking CGI fucking mustache, and you know that Steppenwolf he looks totally CGI. And I'm like, really? Because I would have never known that Henry Cavill had a CGI mustache until you fucking told me. And neither would Todd Jacobs, and neither would comicbook.com, and neither would Maxim, and neither would IGN, and neither would any of these fucking puppets who constantly type these negative articles about DC. Neither would Grace from Beyond the Review. Neither would John Campnier from AMC Movie News. No one would have known this shit until you told them. But the trailer for eventually Avengers comes out, and this Thanos is made of the same fucking CGI. There's the same Black Panther, they're flying around in flying fucking cars. The whole movie's filmed on a green screen. But it just seems to me like DC is under this scrutiny that Marvel isn't. So I'm living with this every day, reading these articles, seeing these YouTube channels. And I said to myself, E-Rock, you know what? Since the media is not going to give what you want to see a fair share, as childish as it sounds, since the media and the world's not going to give what you want a fair share, why should I pump any more money into the MCU? They're going to make $1 million without me any fucking way. So that's part of my boycott of the MCU, is because I think the media treats the DC universe unfairly. I think the media treats the DC universe with more scrutiny than they do Marvel, whether it's warranted or not. And guys, I don't have any gripes against the Marvel universe. I didn't make any gripes. I didn't say any of the movies sucked. Maybe one. I didn't say any of that. It's just I'm tired of it, guys. I'm almost burnt out on it. I began this journey with Marvel 10 years ago, and now I don't want to see it finished. I don't want to see it finished because they burnt me the fuck out, man. I'm burnt the fuck out. I'm burnt out on Marvel. I'm burnt out on the media. I'm burnt out on the media bias. I can't do it anymore, TripleCup Chuck. And it's my loss. I know it's my loss. The only person who's getting hurt by me not seeing Black Panther, I didn't get to go up and dress up in a dashiki like I was going out to go see The Lion King on Broadway. I wanted to go see The Lion King on Broadway, but I wasn't going to do it because the media keeps doing this shit, guys. And as childish as it sounds, I do not want to give any more of my money into a system that continually shits on what I want to see, what I want to enjoy, and tells me not to fucking enjoy it daily. I don't want any more parts of it. I'm burnt out on it, just like I got burnt out on the whole PlayStation versus Xbox war. I got burnt out on it, guys. And so sometimes when you're tired of arguing with all the fanboys at TripleCup, when you're tired of arguing with all the people, what you do is you unsubscribe, and you take yourself out of it. Now you all can attack me. You can kick me off of the podcast, but that's why I'm not.
I mean,
I can't fuck with the MCU no more. Now, why I'm boycotting Disney, that's a whole nother story. We'll say that for the end of the podcast because that's even deeper.
I mean, that was a long-winded 15 minutes to say that you wanted something else. That's it.
Hey, he don't realize with some of the new generation, they want instant gratification.
Well, here's I just couldn't say, I'm not going to go see Marvel anymore. Like,
I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
I'm just saying, I get where you're coming from. Here's the thing, like me, I love DC and Marvel. All right, I do, and I did enjoy Man of Steel. I thought it was significantly different, but I dug it. But the thing is, like, I understand what you saw in Batman v Superman, and it was very interesting. Yes, it went into that more. You know, especially with having Ben Affleck playing a great older Batman, and definitely they're more flawed. It's just the stories were just all over the place. Now, I'll give you this, that the extended director's cut for Batman v Superman did so much more justice for that movie than the theatrical, because the theatrical cut so much shit that's why things just seemed to jump and there was no explanation. Yeah, it was. But that fixed it. But the thing is, some of the writing for some of the movies were great. Wonder Woman was well done, and I enjoyed Justice League more so than it did, and thinking that it didn't deserve all the hate that it got. The issue though with it is if you actually sit down and look at it, you could see the polarizing two different visions in the movie from Zack Snyder's cut and then seeing what Whedon did. That's where a lot of the issues with Justice League really showed, is that there was two different visions going on and they were trying to just sew them together to make it work, but it wouldn't.
Understood.
I would actually blame it on the executives, the Warner Brothers executives.
Yeah.
Right. Because, you know, they got kind of scared. All right. Because of the reception that BVS had got. And then Suicide Squad, even though it did well for itself at the box office. But it's
also that they try to rush everything too.
Which I actually did enjoy a lot more than Thor: The Dark World.
Well, here's the thing here's where I stand on it, E-Rock, is I want a Justice League live action, yes, and what we got was enjoyable. But the thing is, they did one movie back in 2013 with Man of Steel. Then they immediately did Batman v Superman. We had no time to really understand Ben Affleck's take on Batman, except what we got in the movie. And then immediately after that, you're going to add in 5 more characters that are all coming together that didn't feel very organic. We had 3 movies to set up for Justice League. There was no organic put together for them. We didn't really understand the characters. Only after they made Justice League are we getting everyone's individual, individual films. Well, no one knows.
They did it backwards. But I gotta say, I still blame the executives.
Yeah,
the executives stepped in and they lied to the media. They lied to everybody, stating that everything was hunky dory when Zack Snyder was already fired a year prior.
Yeah.
All right, he was fired the year before, and then Josh Whedon. Oh, we bringing Josh Whedon to do a Batgirl movie. Did that ever happen? Nah. They brought in Josh Whedon in order to take over Justice League, and the cut that Josh Whedon delivered 1 month before release was 2 hours and 45 minutes. Because even Zack Snyder was on board when Josh Whedon came on board. Zack Snyder was like, "Yeah, he's just going to do some pickup shoots, and it's going to be reshoots." But the executive, the one in charge, Kevin Sugihara, 1 month before Justice League released, which was a 2 hour and 45-minute cut, Kevin Sugihara put his foot down and said, "No, we're going to deliver a 2 hour cut for the theaters."
You know why?
2 hour cut. So then they had to cut 45 minutes out of the film. And what was those 45 minutes? All of Zack Snyder's stuff that was getting cut out of the film.
But you know
that's why we see the two different visions as far as the movie. We see Josh Whedon.
Do you know why theaters? Do you know why theaters do that? So they can get more showings.
I know that's why they did it, but I think it hurt the film because of it.
Yeah, they do that so they can get in more showings, man. Well, you might have a point.
Yeah, but that's the only thing that I thought hurt the film for me. But personally, I love Man of Steel. That's my favorite version of Superman in theaters.
Yeah, I just think it's unfair for the media to keep comparing a movie franchise that's 5 movies in versus a movie franchise that's 18 movies in. It's a little bit ridiculous.
I don't know why they compare so much, because they wanted them to follow Marvel's roadmap.
You can't do that. You can't. I don't want to follow your roadmap. I don't want to follow his roadmap. The Philadelphia Eagles didn't want to follow the Patriots roadmap. You do your thing. You don't do what somebody else is doing. That's why I don't understand that.
But I also think too, part of it is that we know most of these DC characters by heart now. Is they haven't done anything new. They haven't given any of the other characters real spotlights outside of what they're doing with the show and some of the animated movies. That's where Marvel's doing things right, is that they're giving characters who are unknown so much breath for new creativity. That's the big thing. Is we all know Batman, we all know Superman, we all know Wonder Woman. Not everyone knows Cyborg. Cyborg is great. Everyone has different options when it comes to the Flash. Most people know Wally West because that was who we had for almost 30 odd years before they brought back Barry. Not everyone's seeing the new Aquaman, which is the one that isn't just a joke to everyone. He's the king of Atlantis for a reason. Not in the movies yet, but we're starting to see towards that take. But the thing is, these are all characters that have been known for decades. They haven't shown anyone, different. That's my biggest thing, is I want to see some of the other characters that don't get the time to shine when it comes to DC.
Right. So what about you, GKB? You got
I'm right along with Bloody on this one too. For me, I'm a DC guy. At heart, I love Marvel too, but I'm more drawn to DC characters and storylines than I am Marvel's. And yeah, I just think in the DCU, it's just they're not giving these other characters time to shine and just throwing them all into. And then Batman's watching a couple of clips of these characters. Yeah, we all know these characters. We know where they're coming from and all that kind of stuff. I didn't really like the Justice League Flash.
I didn't either. I didn't like his take.
Yeah,
neither did I.
He kept tripping off his own 2 feet. Yeah, they were like in the sewers there, ready to fight, and he's like, "Yeah, I'd never fought anybody before." I was like, "What the hell are you talking about? You're the fucking Flash. You fight everything all the time. Like, where is this coming?"
He was like an awkward mix between Barry and Wally, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, and I think some of that, like, too, with my problem with the DCU is some of these actors, like, they pick for these characters. I know they say they do research, but I don't think they really do enough research for these characters and find them. And some of that is the director's fault too, not, directing correctly for these characters. And that's a problem for me too, because I love these characters and I want to see them done well as well.
Like the actor who did Vic Stone, phenomenal. I love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I loved it. But it was
he didn't even get his time though. Like,
yeah,
he was just okay. Well, now I'm Cyborg, and then I can plug into computers, and yay! And it's like, come on, man.
And like the worst part about it is that during that whole movie is during the like 10 minutes where he's talking with his dad. He's just like, you remember the accident, and it's just like long pause. It's just like, okay, no flashback. Then it's just like, yeah, I remember. He's like, no, what happened after? Long pause. Like, okay, you're like putting in moments for a flashback and alluding to this. No one knows what's going on because you're not showing it. Exactly. What is going on?
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that does make a certain level of sense. Me personally, I do like DC's characters, and I do sympathize with GKB and Bloody as well as E-Rock. You know what I'm saying? They just need their time to shine, people. That's all it is. That's all we want, because we all grown up with these characters, and I do like DC a lot as well as Marvel. I actually like all comic books because I actually grew up in a comic book store. You know what I'm saying? And I used to read everything, but I do like the DC characters, and I see that they're completely different from Marvel's characters. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is that Marvel has created this giant soap opera, all right, of movies. You know what I'm saying? It's basically a soap opera. They've been dropping nuggets since the Incredible Hulk and Iron Man, you know, at the end of Iron Man, or do you know the Avengers Initiative? You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, an Incredible Hulk, the guy used the super soldier serum. All right. Emil Blonsky, he used the super soldier serum in order to become the Abomination. So right there, I geeked out like, oh man, Captain America's coming soon because he used the super soldier serum. All right. But with DC is that Marvel took their time to develop these characters little by little. You know what I'm saying? 10 years of development. Right. It's a giant soap opera, and people want to see the finale, which is Infinity War. All right. And with DC, it seems like they're rushing into everything. You know what I'm saying? They need to give these characters time to breathe. Like the Man of Steel movie, I loved it.
I don't agree.
I
don't know how to rush.
I understand. You'll get to your point in a second.
Because we all went to go see the X-Men, and nobody's like, who's this guy? Nobody said that. Nobody said that.
Definitely. But we're talking about the new generation of hero films, right? Because the X-Men movies, they don't hold up as much, at least not to me. You know what I'm saying? And I've had issues with the X-Men movies since the very first one, but that's an issue that I have with Bryan Singer, right? Yeah. Because to Bryan Singer is like the main character in the X-Men movies was Wolverine, right? Yeah. So it's basically Wolverine and his tag-along group, all right? Because everybody else was a tag-along, right? He only would concentrate on just Wolverine. Now, as far as like Man of Steel, as a character study, I thought it was dope. Batman v Superman, I did enjoy the director's cut a lot more. I do know there was a few flaws with it because it was kind of long and overbloated, not as much action, even though you really don't need as much action in movies as long as you tell a well-told story. Wonder Woman, I enjoyed thoroughly from beginning to end. Absolutely. All right, and Justice League, you know, there were certain issues that I had with certain characters, like the Flash. I was not feeling in Justice League at all. You know, even though some people said that, you know, Flash was like one of the standouts of the movie, they could have taken him out the movie. The only scene that I thought he was good in was when Superman saw him running in the Speed Force. That's when I was tripping. I was like, oh wow, Superman looked at him, he got freaked out. After that, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing else. He ain't do nothing else in the movie. And then
and someone needs to
Cyborg needed more time to shine in that movie. So it's like they're rushing. If they would at least did a build-up, at least a Flash movie, like the way they had initially planned, at least a Flash movie before the Justice League movie, then maybe I would have been feeling Flash a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Just like we're gonna get Aquaman this fall, which I'm hoping they knock it out the park because I like their new take on Aquaman.
That's my problem too. Is like I don't think. To E-Rock's point, I don't think they're rushing the movies. It's just I think they see what Marvel's doing. They're like, well, we got to put out a Justice League movie. No, you don't really have to put out a Justice League movie right now. Let's develop these characters and then let's put out a Justice League movie. Is where
they wanted that Avengers money now, not later. Yeah. That's what it was.
And here's the thing about that too is that they could have done, you know, just another 2 or 3 movies and been able to do Justice League. The Justice League that they wanted to do was smaller. You got to look at what they're doing with Infinity War. They built this of over 25 different characters that are going to be in this movie that's telling all these 10 years worth of stories. They could have done, you know, Justice League.
That's more than on the level of Avengers, not that. That's too big of a scale though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they could have toned it down.
No, he's just saying just to develop the characters a little bit more. That's what Bloody's trying to get.
Okay, if they did 2 or 3 movies, they could have easily done the Justice League and it made more sense. If they really wanted to, they could have done a Flash and Cyborg movie to really show, and then they could have done a movie where Batman or even Wonder Woman go and meet Aquaman. Especially if they
you hit the nail right on the head, Bloody though. Because why did the Avengers work? We knew these characters before we went in there.
Exactly. And
they already have featured in films. They didn't have to take time to explain their character backstories.
Kaleidoscope.
Go ahead, E-Rock.
How many movies was there before the Avengers?
There's 4.
How many movies was there before Justice League?
2.
3.
No, 3? Okay, so
4. There was 4. There was 4.
4.
Yeah, because you had Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, BVS, and Man of Steel.
Suicide Squad, you can't put that one in that category because they don't have nothing to do with
I
the movie.
know. That's none of those characters are featured.
But that's actually part of the story because Ben Affleck is in the movie in the end getting the information from Amanda Waller. So that's actually part of the story building up to Justice League. So no offense, Kaleidoscope, but your point is invalid. My only question to Bloody Knuckles.
How is it invalid if the characters that are featured in Avengers? Give me one moment. I'll let you go right after you. Go ahead. The characters that the movie build up before Avengers came out was the Incredible Hulk, Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow featured in the movie as well, right? Thor. All right, so all those characters popped out already. For Justice League, the only characters we had seen was Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. All right,
can I ask you,
we can't count Flash.
Did we really need
Flash? And we can't count Cyborg.
But here's the thing, y'all guys on this podcast, y'all guys on this podcast,
or Aquaman, so we can't feature the other three. Only three characters showed up. The other three we ain't know nothing about.
Well, I just put this from my perspective. Y'all guys on this podcast is in your 20s and 30s. I just turned 49 this past Sunday. I don't have till 2029 to wait for all of these fucking movies. So if you can get to the motherfucking main event, win, lose, or draw quicker than that, because I ain't got time to wait for a fucking Blue Beetle movie. And I speak for a lot of people. I ain't got time to wait for the Flash movie. I ain't got time to wait for Victor Stone. Fuck him. If you can get to fight in Darkseid or fight Steppenwolf as soon as possible, then do that. My only thing about that long-winded tirade I made about how I started out with Marvel. And the fan base and the media pushed me away. Not because I'm weak, because I don't have no stomach for this shit no more. We gave Marvel their time to do everything y'all saying. My only beef is let DC build their pieces. But let them figure out. There's no but. Let them figure out their way without motherfuckers always writing articles, without motherfuckers always complaining or saying, "Well, Marvel did it this way."
It's the fact that they can't even get their own. They can't even get their own house together.
But see, you're not listening. Give them time to get their house together. Marvel got their house together.
No,
listen,
but
was Iron Man a great movie? A great movie? No, it wasn't. Was Thor one a great movie?
They took their time with it. They took their time with it. They were able to rewrite. But what I'm saying is, with DC, is that their executives are getting too hands-on with their movies. They're taking direction away from the directors. They can't even
too many cooks in the kitchen.
They've rewritten and gone through 5 directors for the Flash movie alone and rewritten the script multiple times. That doesn't bode well. That's the kind of stuff we're talking about. I want DC to succeed. I want them both to be big competitors and tell their own unique stories. The thing is, when there's so much interaction and so much dissonance among themselves and they can't get anything in lock, that's where the issue is. Yes, I get where you're coming from, that there was only 4 movies before Avengers and there was only 4 movies before we got Justice League. However, in the Avengers, each movie was their own separate, but tied all together. In the 3 movies that we got before Justice League, it was the same 3 characters. That's the issue, is we didn't get teases of the other characters. We didn't get enough time to be established to know who these other characters are. We got all of 30 seconds of them looking at some foot security
screen.
Did we get time to find out who Hawkeye was? Where was his movie?
But Hawkeye started at the beginning of the movie.
This is the thing with you Marvel fans. There's always a fucking but. And as far as Hollywood,
it was just Hawkeye.
And as far as
Hawkeye, just think about it. We got revealed all the other characters. Hawkeye was the only one. For the Justice League movie, we ain't know nothing about Aquaman, Flash, or Cyborg. That's 3 characters.
We're never going to see eye to eye on this shit.
I'm just saying it's just 3 characters. I'm just saying, Hawkeye. They really didn't fucking delve into Hawkeye. I agree with you on that. I'm not saying I don't. I agree with you on that. We really had no background on Hawkeye, but we did know stuff about Black Widow. We did know stuff about Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, Hulk, right? And in Justice League, the only ones we knew about were the 3 characters that Bloody mentioned: Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. That's it.
Okay, I'll concede you that if you're gonna. But as far as dissonance in Hollywood, there's always going to be dissonance in Hollywood. Wasn't there going to be another director of Ant-Man? Wasn't there this black lady who was going to direct Black Panther? There's always dissonance in Hollywood. The cooks have always got their hands in the pie. The only difference
What I think is that they need to trust their filmmakers. That's all it is. They need to trust their filmmakers.
I'll agree with you on that. Like they left Patty Jenkins alone with Wonder Woman, and they're leaving James Wan alone with Aquaman.
Yep.
Give them time to build their cake instead of stepping on their fucking foot all the time. That's all I'm saying. It's almost to the point now where it's getting like really like come on it's like trying to compare the Philadelphia Eagles to the Patriots. The reason why the Eagles finally beat the fucking Patriots because they didn't do it the Patriot way. A bunch of thugs went in and did it their way. We gave the Eagles time to figure the shit out. And the media is not giving DC time to figure it out. It's always they're doing this and they're doing this. Well, let them do that, and maybe they'll get it right eventually. You didn't gotta go see the movies. You can vote with your fucking dollars.
Hey, say E-Rock. Hey, hold on. Hey, man, you speaking about getting it right. And y'all talking about exchanging hands. We need to go ahead and move along to this Spider-Man 4 coming out September 7th. You know what I'm saying? Moving hands and hands getting greased and making deals. Well, the Spider-Man PS4 is an exclusive on the PlayStation, and the leak statement about that's coming out on September 7th. I want to know what y'all thoughts about Spider-Man. Y'all Spider-Man fans, y'all think this game gonna be good, iffy, bad, or whatever? Let's start off with, let's see. Matter of fact, let's go to you, Savage. You ain't saying nothing in a minute.
I really, as far as the Spider-Man game, I'm not really interested in the Spider-Man game. Like, I need to see something completely different from Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man is like getting too old with me. And I'm like, I need to see somebody different under a completely different character making a game for them to make a game for. As far as Spider-Man, I'm sick of Peter Parker.
Yeah, like the Green Arrow will be a good person. Yeah. So what about you, GKB?
I mean, just as far as like a Spider-Man game, I'm digging it. I like what I see so far of it. I'm a big fan of Insomniac, the developers behind it. I thought it was really cool that Marvel and Sony went to Insomniac and said, hey, you can do whatever character you want to do. And they said Spider-Man. And I think that, speaks to the strengths of Insomniac and what they did with Sunset Overdrive and all that kind of stuff. I mean, whether you love or hate Spider-Man is, whatever on you. But I just think from the gameplay aspect and what we've seen of the story and stuff so far, I like what I'm seeing. I like, Negative as a character in there. I don't know if he's going to be the main villain, but I think there's probably going to be a lot more than just that. I would really like to see more of a superior Spider-Man because I enjoyed that in the comic books. I thought that was one of the best Spider-Man stories I ever read. Just from the aspect of Doc Ock taking over Peter Parker's life and everything behind that. I would love to see that kind of a storyline in a Spider-Man game. But yeah, I'm super excited about it. Already pre-ordered the collector's edition. So
go ahead and up in. Do it come with a statue?
Yeah, it does come with a Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's what I'm all about. I'm all about the physicals. But I gotta say, right there, Gov, you got my mind rolling because God, I love the Superior Spider-Man run. That was probably one of my favorite storylines because Doc Ock that was one of my favorite storylines besides I think it was Back in Black when Craven buried Spider-Man alive and took his time in the suit because Craven the Hunter, when he did that led to one of the darkest turns because after he felt that he was able to beat all the villains that Spidey couldn't, he killed himself in a coffin. That was probably the darkest turn I've seen for Spider-Man.
I agree.
That's what's up.
Yeah, but that I'm right there with you. I'm excited for the game. I love what Insomniac does. They always do open worlds just so wonderfully with what they did originally with Spyro back in the day, and then what they achieved with Ratchet and Clank and the humor. Like we can say outright that Insomniac's humor and what they put is just on spot for what you would expect out of a character like Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
Like it is the most, outgoing, boisterous, could be self-referential that works perfectly for a character like Spidey. And I agree with Savage that, we've all seen enough of Peter Parker. Let's see some of the other Spider-Mans in the universe. I know we saw during that E3 showcase that we saw the tease of Miles, and it would be great for them to bring him in. I really do hope, but there's just so many other versions of Spider-Man and other spiders throughout the Spider-Verse that are great. You know, I would love to see more about, you know, Spider-Man.
I'd rather see Spider Pig.
I rather see
Spider
a
Ham,
good,
Peter
a
Porker, the
good.
spectacular Spider Ham.
Yeah.
I rather see
I
a
would
really
love to
good
see more.
Superman game. Matter of fact, I want to see a Flash game. I've been saying this for a while. You know,
so awesome, man.
Remedy. I was thinking about
Quantum
if
Break.
Remedy got the way they did on Quantum Break, and they did a Flash game like Quantum Break.
Man,
That would actually work because they would have that experience with the time bending, so they could easily adjust that for the Speed Force.
Yeah, Speed Force. Yeah.
But you know, I would love to see a game more about Silk as well, man. She's probably one of my favorites out of the Spider-Verse, man. I love Silk. Yeah, Silk's awesome. But I'm excited for it. I'm definitely getting the collectors right there along with you, Gov. My only issue is that the steel is just so very bland. It's classic. Yeah, I get it. The red with the spider logo. I wish they would have done a little bit more, but you know, it's still pretty dope.
Yeah, I agree. Hopefully they have more costumes you can choose throughout the game, like some collectibles or something.
And they say you could get the Venom costume. They say they will have a
the symbiote.
The symbiote. Yeah, they're gonna do the symbiote on there too.
Cool.
Nice. I do like the symbiote. I was always a big fan of the symbiote suit, but I do like that pre-order bonus that they have, that Spider Punk. I was digging that.
Yeah. I was thinking like there's Sunset Overdrive right there, like that.
Yeah, that's exactly my thought. I was just like, I can dig that right there. I would gladly rock that the whole game.
All right, so what about you, Collider?
Well, I'm also a big Insomniac fan, like a lot of members of the panel here. I've played like Spyro, Ratchet and Clank, on my cousin's PlayStation back in the day. And last generation, I really enjoyed Fuse. When they decided to go multiplayer and they threw out Fuse, it reminded me of a next-gen version of Brute Force. You know, that old Xbox title from back in the day. It just reminded me of that. I don't know why. There was something about it. And I love the mechanics. I love the game world. The characters all had snarky attitudes and everything. And I was really digging it. And then when they came out with Sunset Overdrive this generation, there was like a nice little open world and whatnot for you to run around in. I was like, wow, man, you know, if they ever did a Spider-Man game like this, it would be dope. And lo and behold and whatnot, you know, they end up getting contacted by Marvel and Sony in order to do this new Spider-Man game. Now, as far as like comparing it to all the other Spider-Man games, it's the one with the best production values up to this point. All right, it's the one with the best production values, and the animation from Insomniac you cannot touch with a 10-foot pole. Their characters are just crazy fluid, all right? Crazy fluid, all right? They've always been fluid, even since back in the day, since Spyro the Dragon, all right? These guys are world-class animators. They should be working for Pixar, in my opinion, all right? And I don't necessarily own a PlayStation 4, but I know my cousin already got it reserved. So I'm going to be going to his crib in order to play it, definitely. Now, I did hear rumors, though, that there's going to be a Venom DLC, a story content DLC. So that makes sense because it'll be tying in with the Venom movie that, you know, Sony's going to be releasing this fall, which makes sense. And as far as like for a different type of Spider-Man game, I would like to see Jessica Drew, Spider-Woman, all right, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., all right, because I've always enjoyed that character in the comic books, and I think her powers are completely different from Spider-Man's. All right. She is a Spider-Man character, but, you know, she's one of those characters that's out there. And her powers, she could actually fly. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't necessarily swing on webs. She got like these spider stings, kind of like Miles Morales to a certain degree. And it's actually pretty trippy, you know, just to see it from a woman's perspective. You know what I'm saying? Why it always got to be Spider-Man, Miles Morales, this and that. Yo, what's up with Spider-Girl, man? What's up with their daughter? You know, Mary Jane and Spider-Man's daughter. What's up with Spider-Gwen? You know, what's up with giving the females some love, yo? This is Insomniac we're talking about, people.
Yeah, they could do it. So what about you, E-Rock? I mean, let's say if not, you excited for the PlayStation 4 Spider-Man?
Man, I am ecstatic. Are you kidding me? I am
Twilight Zone.
I am over the moon about this because September 1st, it'll give them hoof clickers and them four-legged beasts something else to do besides stalk my Twitter page, try to hunt down and murder Xbots in the street. It'll give them something to do other than worry about what the hell we doing. I am happy that they're going to have a couple of games to play. Are you kidding me? This couldn't be greater news for me.
Like a vacation.
For an entire week, Jabari Clark will not be in my Twitter feed. What? Man, September can't get here soon enough. Thank you, Insomniac. Thank you, I can't believe I'm saying this. Thank you, Marvel, and thank you, Sony.
Hey, y'all heard it here first. Y'all might never hear that again ever, like in history. So what? So E-Rock, if not, what game would you like to see him make superhero game, and who?
Oh man, a superhero game. We already had Batman. Who would make a great superhero game at this stage? That is a tough call, man. But you know, somebody mentioned in Twitter they would like to see somebody actually make a great Superman game, but we already know 2 of the 5 guys on this panel ain't gonna like that. So,
the fact that I think that Rocksteady could make an interesting Superman game. I've always been about that.
I want a Batman Beyond game, man. I really do.
The Batman
that'd be tight.
Oh man,
That'd be
Batman
tight.
would. Man, if only we could get a good.
Me personally, I want a Suicide Squad game.
I want the makers of Max Payne to make a Moon Knight game.
That might be dope. Yeah,
Dude,
man,
Moon Knight would be
Moon Knight.
awesome. Hey, I mean, we're still getting that Avengers game from Square Enix, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Yo, bloody, even one better. A Sisters of the Dragon game.
Ooh, yes, Stars of the Dragon. I'm all
By
about that.
Rocksteady.
Yeah,
By
let's go.
Rocksteady, bro.
What kind of story they tell though? How they gonna tell the story?
Their storyline, bro. No, they're heroes for hire.
Yeah,
Or heroettes for hire.
Yeah, well, they're a PI, man. They could do a case and they could go sideways real quick, and they could tell.
Yo, remember their secretary? What was his name? That little dude that was invulnerable. That was like a superhero as well. I forgot his name though, but he was hilarious as hell in that series, bro.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of it right now.
Yeah,
Hey,
but yeah, I think a Sisters of the Dragon game would be legit.
Hey, so what y'all think about
Something
that
out of left
Batman
field.
Telltale's game? Is actually on season 2 is finally finished and complete and completely out. Some people wait till the game is all the way out the whole season out before they play it. Y'all Telltale fans, or y'all don't like Telltale games?
I haven't gotten around to the first one yet.
No.
I enjoy the Telltale games. They have always had an interesting aspect, and I do like that. I actually played through the Batman ones. I've done.
One also a drug dealer.
Well, you also know. I've gone through those, and I enjoy the story that they were telling. That just like they've done with the others. I haven't gotten to play the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I know that they said that the Guardians.
That's what I'm playing now. I'm on episode 3. That's why I haven't gotten to Batman yet. I want to finish Guardians.
I still gotta redo all of them because I still need to finish the Fable with Wolf Among Us because I'm so excited that they're finally doing season 2. They're doing season 2 finally. So much. I'm excited.
That game is just great.
And I need to refinish my playthroughs to The Walking Dead just because of the fact that I started with all those. I need to finish them. I actually just finished the Tales from the Borderlands ones, and those were fun as hell. I enjoyed that. That was simply great. But man, they've been doing it right, but they really do need a little bit of a refresh and an improvement to their tech. But I do love what they do. But that's what made A Way Out just so interesting because it was taking that formula and adding a lot more to it. I loved A Way Out.
Yeah. So so what about you, GKB?
Yeah, Telltale I'm kind of like hit or miss with. Like I love the Wolf Among Us, I love the Borderlands. Some of the other ones I wasn't a big fan. But as far as like the Batman, I played through the first season. I enjoyed the crap out of it. I haven't played the second season yet, so I'm interested to get into that. I'm kind of waiting until it all comes out so I can play it all at once. I kind of hate the episodic thing. It drives me crazy sometimes, but I'm excited for it.
I think that's also what adds into that aspect because like it helped out for like some of the older games, like with the first seasons of The Walking Dead, when the new episode would drop and they would end at those big cliffhangers. It would just make you so anxious for the next episode to come out.
Yeah,
I mean that was the perfect way of doing it at that time, but. Yeah, like now I know a lot of people, they just want everything just like boom.
They want the Netflix experience. They want to binge it.
Well, the episodic thing has worked for some games, not for others. I think it's starting to wear down.
It works,
but I think it's starting for Telltale, it's starting to wear out a little bit because I mean it worked for the Hitman, the new Hitman that came out. That one really worked, but they also were able to add a lot.
That's the one that did work. I then in Final Fantasy, I don't think those type of games built for episodic. Like or Telltale games, they episodic, and when you play it, you be pissed off, but you be pissed off in a good way because you want to play more. But
I
like,
don't know how
what do you think
I
about
feel about
Final
that Final Fantasy 7 like being split up.
Oh,
like that. Yeah.
oh yeah, Final Fantasy 7. Oh, that's gonna be a horrible idea. They're shooting themselves in the foot with it. Like it worked for the DLC because each DLC for 15 worked really well because it was focused on a small aspect and it helped out. But what if they're gonna do that for 7? That's gonna be literally the worst thing they could do.
Yeah. I agree.
Well, last I read, as far as Final Fantasy VII, Square Enix removed the developer that was doing it.
Yep, they
took it in-house.
Yep.
They brought it in-house, and from what I'm hearing, they was actually going to make one.
they
planning on just making one, so it might be a couple of years before we actually see it.
I'm fine with that, man. Take your time to make it right.
Exactly.
See, I was one of those people that was never big into 7, but I do like the new updated for it. I still couldn't get into the story, but I might play it.
Yeah, like I'll really be pissed off if they fuck up Final Fantasy 7.
I mean, no one said probably gonna happen.
Emphasis too. Y'all fuck with my Final Fantasy, not this one. You might could do 8, 9, or 10, but don't mess up 7.
Nah, you can't fuck with 8, 9, or 10. From 7 to 10, just leave them the fuck alone. Unless you just gonna update them.
Right. Give some better graphics. Well, this other last topic though was now this actually is a real topic, but the way who did it is made it it's kind of like almost speechless to say, but Deadpool made they got a trailer for Deadpool about cancer awareness, and he like fuck cancer, and he want people to like you could donate and you could get a chance to win a pink Deadpool suit. I mean, I'm trying to be serious about this. Kind of hard because it's Deadpool, and my mind right now to the day is
or what?
Yeah, I'm like I don't know how to take it. I really don't know how to take it, so I want to see how y'all taking it. So kind of like say to jump in and bring y'all perspective because it's Deadpool.
It's actually brilliant marketing, yo. Brilliant marketing. That's the way Deadpool is, man.
It was so brilliant. I watched I watched it just a little bit after it aired. I was just like, what the hell did he put up now? And I was just like, this is glorious. I was like, can this man do nothing as this character? I was like, it was so smart. He's just like, I'm going to tell you about a subject that's very close to me. It's cancer. And then he was just going on and on about the shit. I'm just like, did he seriously just make a website that says "Go F Cancer"? I went through it. I was just like, yeah, that's legit. I was like,
that website been around for over a year though.
Yeah, but it was one of those things that was just, I was like, this is brilliant. I was like, I dig the prize. I dig the fact that all the proceeds are going to cancer research. I was just like, there's no better way to like double dip into this. I was like, this is beyond amazing.
Brilliant marketing.
It really is.
Yeah. So hold up, but I mean, I almost forgot to say E-Rock. You ain't never say nothing about you or
no, because Deadpool's a Marvel character.
No, to me, he never said that. No. But I still ain't get his opinion about the Telltales though, the Batman. He never said nothing about that.
Oh yeah, that's right. You didn't hear his opinion on that.
I'm a huge fan of the Wolf Among Us. That game, I didn't know anything about the comic book. Never saw the comic book. The Wolf Among Us was just an extremely well done game. Like if that's a representation of what Telltales can do, I'm interested now in trying the Batman game or trying some of their other games. But the Wolf Among Us, man, that was just really a work of art. I mean, that was a great game. Yeah, I like their stuff, man. They're good. They're top notch.
Well, I will tell you this here, Batman, a magnificent game. It's fun. If you like that, you'll love that Batman. Now, The Walking Dead, I will tell you this here. Be prepared to get you a box of Kleenex because it's hard to hold them tears back. From a man to a man, hey, they really hit you. They gut punch the shit out you on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Wolf Among Us. I played through like the first 2 episodes, and those had me so depressed already. Like starting out, like I don't want to know. I don't want to finish it just because of the fact that I already know what it did. Because when I finished the first season of The Walking Dead, like those last 5-10 minutes, I was just crying like a little bitch. I'm just like, no, don't do this to me. Why do you do this?
Right. So E-Right, what you think about the council? Since it's Deadpool and he a fourth wall breaking character, cursed like a sailor, and he's just crazy. I mean, I know that you got some type of thing to say about him making something about breast cancer and actually being sincere or comical, sincere. Something he being. He got me.
I agree with everything those guys said. I mean, listen, I don't want Kaleidoscope and Bloody Knuckles have got this all. They've got this all wrong. I don't want this. I don't want this nice gentleman from Console Corner who came here tonight. He had better things to do. I don't want him leaving this podcast.
Man, that GKB man, he fuck with me, man. We out here.
Yeah, man.
Some kind of lunatic, and that I hate Marvel. I don't hate Marvel. I'm just burnt out with the media and all of that. And how can anybody not be happy for Ryan Reynolds? How can you? Ryan Reynolds is so cool. It was Van Wilder. I even liked him in the Green Lantern. I'm sure you'll have something to say about that.
I actually enjoyed the Green Lantern movie despite all the hate. I love that movie.
I did too.
Anybody who's not happy,
I just ain't like scrotum head.
Anybody who's not happy for Ryan Reynolds' success is just an asshole. So, whatever marketing he's doing is brilliant. All I know is somebody's been sniffing during this whole podcast while we've been talking this jibber jabber. Somebody's been toting up and snorting cocaine, and I'm upset.
I mean,
because I should have had the first hit to get through that Marvel tirade.
So there's a drug-free environment, bro.
I mean, sometimes you just need a little.
You're from Puerto Rico. There's no such thing.
What are you trying to say? We're not like Bolivia, yo. That's where the coke rolls in from.
Man, sometimes you get too much information on podcasts, but hey, it's all real people talking about real stuff.
Oh no.
Oh, dang, that was a trade secret? Damn.
Oh. I mean, they're in Guatemala. Let's go with that.
Yeah, that's getting that straight from Wakanda. But say Savage, man, you ready to go ahead and get to this this updated version of this Off With Your Head? I want to let everybody know this is like really gonna be on a different level. So everybody been rocking out with us. I'm letting y'all know we kind of changing it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Savage Carter gonna have the Off With The Head segment. It's gonna be like the Savage Carter Samurai segment. So let's go ahead and get to this thing. You know what I'm saying? You ready to get it started?
Hold on, man. Let me get my sword first.
Yeah. Hey, which one you going to grab off the shelf?
I think I'm gonna get this one from Bleach. Kenpachi's sword.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna get a Zanpakuto.
Yeah, I got to get that. All right. Round one.
And then we went to a complete moment.
Oh man!
Hang
on, he's building up suspense, guys. He's building suspense.
First contestant, Marvel, Gamora.
Okay, Gamora.
Second contestant, DC, Bronze Tiger.
Gamora versus Bronze Tiger.
And the stipulations of the rules is no
powers.
No powers at all. Period.
Pure fighting skill.
The Bronze Tiger got bodied, yo. Because she's the deadliest female assassin swordsman in the galaxy. All right, with no powers.
True. She does. Without any powers, she is one of the most skilled fighters, especially
assassin, Joe. Yeah,
because she was trained by Thanos. She had to be strong, or he would do what he got to do.
Basically, she would have ended up like Nebula if she wasn't that strong.
True.
Yeah, that's true too. So,
which
who you
one?
Think right?
Which Nebula you talking about? The comic book Nebula or the MCU? Because the comic book version that was even worse.
Yeah.
Hey, so which one?
Well, they rebooted the comic book version to be after the movie version. All right, they actually came out with a Gamora comic book in 2017, written by Nicole Perlman, which was one of the co-writers for the first Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, that don't count.
6-issue miniseries. That was dope.
He's like,
hey, so who you think, E-Rock?
First thing first. I mean, look Look at even in this off with your head segment, DC can't get a break. You pick Gamora, who's overpowered. Wait, let me finish. I'm looking at this guy. I'm looking at
no super strength. None of that counts.
No super strength.
It's just straight
None of that
skill.
counts.
Fighting skill.
Straight combat.
So we're bringing everybody down to a ground level.
Now, if you know DC characters like you know DC characters, you should know Bronze Tiger's skills.
I'm looking at Bronze Tiger now. This guy's got on like some kind of suit and a rip off of the Black Panther's necklace. It doesn't matter. She's Thanos' daughter. You might as well. Let me finish. You might as well pick Savage Dragon. Can we change him out for Savage Dragon?
Like, I mean, Bronze Tiger though, you gotta think that he is strong and is skilled martial arts. I mean, he was part of the League of Assassins, dude. Come on. Now you're just making a
Bronze Tiger is one of the main supervillains in DC, and he has no superpowers. He just is a martial artist.
I was gonna say now you're making us look like we worse than we are, man. Come on.
Yeah. So next time,
Bronze Tiger is skilled.
Yeah, he got a 5-year chance. Actually, it's a balanced fight. To be honest with you,
because Gamora doesn't have her cybernetics or anything. It's just her fighting skill.
Yeah,
versus Bronze Tiger's fighting skill.
Now, as an assassin, she's definitely skilled, but as a fool, in straight head-on fights against someone who's more powerful than her, she has to think smart. But that's the thing about Bronze Tiger is that he's very smart, and he's been doing this for a long time against someone like Batman and others, especially his time in the League of Assassins. He's skilled with his martial arts.
Well, since you said that, then Bronze Tiger. If you can see this picture I'm looking at, this picture don't lend confidence.
Yeah, don't let the picture fool you.
Don't let the picture fool you.
You gotta go get some skill, bro.
Yeah, had a research. So I'm curious. What you think, GKB?
I'm gonna have to go with Gamora, man. Bronze Tiger, he's definitely got it where it counts as far as fighting skills, but I think Gamora, when you take away her powers and stuff, like she's been constantly beat down by Thanos like her whole life. Like she could take an ass whooping and she could deal out one for damn sure. So
child abuse.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with Gamora. I'd take her just about any against just about anyone, honestly, especially when you take away superpowers.
All right, so that's what 2 for Gamora.
Actually, 3.
Nah, I'm actually gonna, as much as I love Gamora, I'm actually gonna stand by Bronze Tiger on this one. Bronze Tiger, his skill with what he's done, you got to think too that he was also sent to kill Cassie Kane, right? And he's gone up multiple times against Kathy, or Batwoman, as some people know her. And he's held his own against quite a bit, and easily can hold off. I think Bronze Tiger could easily outdo Gamora. She may have been beaten down multiple times by Thanos, but I think in the grand scheme of things, I still think that she would lose out to Bronze Tiger's pure skill and his thought processing, man.
So that's 2 and 2. So who I go with the Bronze Tiger 2, just to make it short and sweet. So with that, so who would that be? 1.
That's blasphemy, bro.
Man,
blasphemy, bro.
When you take away,
come on, man. Gamora, no. People in the comment section, let your thoughts not be known below, please. All right, let's
ain't no way
as far as Gamora's fighting skill versus the Bronze Tiger.
Man, I looked him up. Yeah, he's something serious. I mean, he really something serious. So that so anyway. So round 1 of that deal.
They're catering to E-Rock, yo. That's what's happening, people. They're catering to E-Rock X.
You're assuming that's what you're doing. Man, you and GKB ain't y'all said Gamora. Yeah, so I just had to do a tiebreak if I decided the other side was something with GKB. Man, look at it. Look at the type of situation I'm in.
What you mean?
Cool. I got 2 guesses. I got a tie between. Look,
I blame you.
All right. So what's the next round? We got to go now.
What you mean? I ain't voted yet.
Okay.
Yeah, Savage ain't vote yet.
Oh man, he only voted for the tiebreak.
It depends on who he votes for. That would be interesting.
I thought that Savage would be able to vote because of the fact that since he already has it broken down, it would be a majority based on the rest of the panel, and that's how Chuck would do it.
Yep. So.
Oh, so I don't get no vote?
Nope.
Yeah, because you would get the vote if you had to do a tiebreaker.
You
All right.
decide to vote.
So, Bronze Tiger.
Yep, Bronze Tiger.
Cool.
It's blasphemy, man. I'm not coming on the show no more.
All right.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Next, DC side. Richard Dragon.
Who?
Richard Dragon.
Dragon.
Hey, didn't I tell y'all Savage gonna go into the everything? Y'all better been pulling up through y'all research. Y'all talking about y'all some Marvel and some DC fans. Y'all gonna have to know everybody.
Damn, he went back to the 70s with this. God damn.
He went way back.
You got to keep it this century, bro. Go ahead, do your thing, man.
Dragon.
All right,
Versus-
Richard Dragon versus who?
Psylocke.
Ooh.
Oh, I had to go with Psylocke. I had to go with Psylocke.
Yeah, Psylocke, bro.
Yeah, I had to go with Psylocke.
What, based on fighting skills?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
fighting
Fighting
skills. And all,
skills.
take away. Nope, all power's gone.
Well, I don't know, man, because I'm looking this dude up, Richard Dragon. I mean, I got to give y'all credit, man. Y'all pulled out dudes I ain't never heard of. I mean, this dude Richard Dragon, and when I pulled up his name, a '74 Chevy Nova pulled up. I mean, this dude, he was in a DC comic called Kung Fu Fighter. So I mean, I got to go with Richard Dragon.
I'm
right.
I'm actually gonna have to say Psylocke. I was like, Richard Dragon is definitely skilled martial arts, but she also as the skills as an assassin that she has, I think she's
All right.
out to Dragon.
Wait. I should explain Richard Dragon to people who don't exactly know who Richard Dragon is. Does everybody in the panel know who Lady Shiva is?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
Yeah.
the picture I got up here, he's fighting Lady Shiva.
Richard Dragon is Lady Shiva's master.
Damn. And she's a dangerous assassin, right?
She is the DC's #1 assassin.
Damn.
Mhm.
I voted for the right guy then.
I mean, I my vote recalled in.
You got to think too that Lady she was also part of the Birds. of
I know
Prey
she.
for a little while.
Lady Shiva was a truth.
No, that was the second Lady Shiva. That was her daughter. She had to kill her mother to get that name.
Well,
That's
it states in Wikipedia that Richard Dragon, along with Batman, Bronze Tiger, Black Canary, and Lady Shiva, is considered one of the top martial artists in the DC universe.
Damn, man, my brain ain't ready for all this shit. What you
Yo, I did say Psylocke at first, but
yeah,
it seems like Richard Dragon might fucking body her, yo.
right.
I'm standing by
I
Psylocke on this
I
one.
picked him. He's from the 70s. I picked him just for that.
So, what about you, GKB?
Yeah, I think I'm going with Richard Dragon on this one. I mean, when you scale back all the powers and stuff, like he's definitely got the chops to take on Psylocke for sure.
He don't have Richard Dragon don't have powers.
Yeah, so
No, I know.
automatic.
He's talking about the
still
skill
at it.
sets.
Yeah, he's still the same. God cut off somebody.
Like you take away Psylocke's powers, and Richard Dragon could actually body her. If you leave Psylocke with her powers, though, Richard Dragon wouldn't last 2 seconds.
Exactly.
Triple Chuck, I got to give your boy credit, man, but where is he pulling these guys from? The pool of everybody that died in Crisis on Infinite Earths? Like, where the fuck is he? I ain't ever heard of half these people. Their planet got hit by a meteorite on Infinite Crisis. Like, god damn, Richard Dragon, Bronze Tiger,
Chuck.
Savage Dragon.
Chuck,
he goes.
Chuck,
Yeah, it was good.
what did I do when we was kids?
Oh, the comic books, research. You did all that. Man, you put me on a lot of that stuff, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Hey, I got a question.
Wow.
I got to cut somebody's head off now, or do we got to cut their head off at the end?
We're gonna do it at the end.
All right. I got the guillotine ready, y'all.
So
Wait,
we
one of
got-
us gets our head cut off?
Nah.
Oh,
You'll
holy
see.
shit.
So now we end up with Richard Dragon versus Bronze Tiger.
Ooh.
Ooh, man.
This is gonna be a stalemate. Because, like you said, that if you
I'll
look at it, that
go Tiger because he more of a kung fu martial artist. I don't know what a precise martial art is called, but it's more like that Bruce Lee type art.
Jeet Kune Do.
If that's it, that's what he do.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Bronze Tiger on this one. They're both absolutely some of the top martial artists and fighters, and they both spent time in the League of Assassins. But I'm gonna have to stick with Tiger.
Look up Richard. Look him up again, and make sure you don't look at the list of.
I know who I'm voting for though, Richard Dragon. You know what I'm saying? Because he's also guided the heroic lifestyles and guided Wonder Woman and the Huntress.
Yeah.
So they trained under him. All right, and it seems like pretty trippy the stuff that he could do, man.
And Lady Shiva.
No, definitely Lady Shiva, of course. But I would go with Richard Dragon on this as far as taking out the Bronze Tiger.
Yeah, Richard Dragon all the way. What you said, E-Rock?
Hey, I'm sorry. What's his name? Bronze Tiger. I got to go with Richard Dragon. I mean, African American superheroes have had too many wins this month, and I'm getting nervous. So I'm going to vote.
No! You got to take it there. He goes for the white guy
from the 70s.
Oh, yeah. White 70s guy. I'm gonna get Eric here. God damn it!
All right, so we know
Border Rock.
Oh God.
Oh no.
How about GKB? Who do you vote for?
I'm taking Richard Dragon for sure.
Man, it's hard to go against somebody like that.
Oh my God.
He's been all over.
Yeah, his background is ridiculous. Yeah.
No. I got a rocker for this one. This person is known in the DC universe as the strongest person in the DC universe. Now we're gonna go
superpowers.
No superpowers. He has no superpowers, just like Richard Dragon. And this is who we gonna fight. The Karate Kid.
Hold on, what?
Ah, shit, yo.
That's
what's up, man. Whoa. Yo, I would say the Karate Kid hands down, yo.
Man,
I mean, damn, I could. Oh, dude, man, you messed with my head so badly. Right?
Yeah.
Man, the Karate Kid, yo, that was like one of DC staples, man. The only one that killed him was a dude that basically could use his same abilities and whatnot. Nemesis Kid. He was the only one that was able to kill the Karate Kid. Nobody else could ever fuck with the Karate Kid. At least not DC's version of the Karate Kid. That shit that came out in movies, y'all can forget that shit. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the real Karate Kid.
Yeah, and you got to think that Karate Kid is also held his own against Superboy, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's gone up against Superboy, and he has no powers whatsoever.
Karate Kid got some serious fighting skill, yo. Some serious fighting skill.
Shit. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna hear everybody else first because I'm undecided right now. So both of y'all said the Karate Kid, Knuckles and Cloudy.
Yo, Karate Kid's hands down.
Yeah, so E-Rock and GKB.
The Karate Kid was actually one of the members of the Legion of Superheroes.
Hey, hold on. Hey, GKB. One thing about putting your face on the camera while you're looking at the laptop. We know you Googling like, hold up, man. This is way.
I was trying to see like
imagine the power levels.
Yeah, that's what I keep looking at is like, you know, how's their power stack up and like what do they actually know? Like with the Karate Kid, you know, he's like proficient in every martial arts ever known. So like he's got like the mad skills. I mean, even though the Red Dragon's got like mad skills too, and has trained some of the best like superheroes out there. So I mean, this is a toss up for me, man. I'm not sure.
But like you said, you gotta remember too that Karate Kid was also one of the Legion of Superheroes. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh man, I don't know, man. I'm leaning towards Karate Kid, but I don't know.
It's not easy, right?
Yeah, that was a really tough one, man. Honestly, I don't want to give up Richard Dragon, but man, Karate Kid's pretty dope though. Yeah, I'll just go with Karate Kid.
That's 3 for Karate Kid. Man, you make mine look like like it was ABCs or some shit. Cause this is right. Man, golly. So what about you, E-Rock?
Man, according to what I'm reading here, got to go with Karate Kid. I mean, his bio says he's a master of every form of martial arts to have been developed by the 31st century. Now, the other dude looks like he's straight from 1974, so that's a wrap. That's a wrap right there. So, man.
Yeah,
now,
man, he first said the Karate Kid said Ralph Macchio. Oh man, like yo, fucking the game up. You guys know there's a sequel to that, right? On YouTube Red. It's called Cobra Kai.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. I'm looking forward to that. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
That's funny.
Hey, it's on code. I guess nobody knows. So I go with Karate Kid. I go with Karate Kid too. So where we at now, Savage?
so I guess it would be off with your head for Richard Dragon, right?
Yeah, no, he said we're gonna say that to the end of the 15.
Oh, okay, to the end. Want to know what would have made it a real fair fight though? Because you added Gamora and Psylocke. What happened with Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu? And what happened with Iron Fist?
Hold on. You don't know we ain't finished yet. We ain't finished
Those
yet.
is martial artists though, man. You put people that that have a certain power set and whatnot.
This is
You know what I'm
actually
saying?
gonna be
I would have loved to have seen, you know what I'm saying,
All right.
Shang-Chi, the master of Kung Fu, and Iron Fist.
I'm not finished, man. I'm not finished.
Oh, okay.
like how many are we gonna go in one night, man?
All
right.
Now we going Karate Kid versus Karnak.
Karnak. Holy shit. This is like the fucking compendium of Z-listers. Like what the holy shit. Holy shit. My man ain't playing around. Oh, he's an Inhuman.
I'll go with Karnak. If he based his regular powers, I think I have to go with Karnak because man, you can't. He outplaying you.
All right.
You can't stop him if he already 2 steps ahead of you.
Karnak is on this list. Karnak has never been subject to the Terrigen Mist. He taught himself he mentally use his powers.
Oh God!
Hey guys, he can't use his powers. Well, he has no powers. Then you're saying he just has straight up martial arts skill.
Yeah.
Martial arts skill, and he using his brain. He find the weakness in all things with using his brain.
I guess so. With that big ass head he's got, shit. So long, Karate Kid.
I would have to go with Karnak.
Nah, I would still go with Karate Kid.
Yeah, but like with Karnak though, like he like what TripleCup was saying is like he's already like figured out what was going to happen before it even happens, kind of thing. So
the ability to sense weak points.
Yeah, but that's not an ability though. That's just instinct. Like if a person swing, you know to move out the way.
The move it, yeah.
Well, no, because the fact that he
Karnak thinks at least 30 moves ahead.
Because of the fact that he studied at the Tower of Wisdom, that's why.
Right.
He didn't become a human, so he instead focused on his natural perception.
Right.
Well, Karate Kid could just give him a rib shot and call it a day,
but he can't hit him.
Yeah, but he would already know.
Nah, yeah, because he's like 2 steps ahead and whatnot.
Yeah. He'd be like the thinker, man. He's just like, in reality, I know you try to go for my chest, so I moved to the left.
Hold on, so would that count as a superpower? Even though he tied it.
None of it's a natural ability.
Nah, he doesn't have that. He doesn't have powers. He's just
it's like
2 steps ahead.
That's like somebody doing push-ups and lifting weights to somebody just sitting on the couch all day. You can't say, well, that's a superpower.
It's like somebody trying to swing at Bruce Lee's face and whatnot. He's gonna be moving out the way and fucking smack you before you even realize you can move your fist.
Okay, well, yeah, I'll go with Karnak.
Yeah, with that advantage, you would have to go with Karnak.
Yeah, I'm
Man, how come we keep switching out people?
Man, I still say Karate Kid though, man. Screw that, man.
You still going Karate Kid? Man,
I'm with
Karate Kid
Karnak.
would last a minute.
He
man.
gonna lose anyway, but Karate Kid's my boy.
I was like, the Karate Kid is something else, but I have to stick with Karnak. I was like, he was one of the Inhumans I actually did not know about. So
everybody say Karnak besides for you, Collider. So we had to go. We had to go with the majority rules. So it got to be Karnak.
Okay. Karnak versus
You trying to look down the list, huh?
Deathstroke.
I'll still go with Karnak.
yeah, I'm still on Karnak.
It's hard to pick anybody outside of Karnak now because of just his ability.
Because of what he can do. But wait a minute, he might be onto something with Deathstroke. Hold on, no. Savage is fucking with everybody, bro.
With Deathstroke, I think too that he's also a skilled hand-to-hand martial artist.
Not just a skilled hand-to-hand martial artist. That dude is like 2 steps ahead as well.
Man.
He has the same type of advanced brain as Karnak.
Yep, exactly, dude. That's why I said Savage is fucking with us, show.
Well,
I
think, because if they was on the same brain wave scale, then that bring it to a whole new perspective. Yeah,
and Deathstroke is proficient with a whole bunch of different weapons, man. You know what I'm saying?
I don't remember Deathstroke.
The Karnak could be a couple of steps ahead and whatnot. That would be like a hellified fight, though.
I mean,
Deathstroke has taken on the Teen Titans by himself.
Yeah, but a lot of like Deathstroke though, he like studies like
he does have to study,
and stuff like that. Where Karnak is like instantaneous with, the steps ahead, and
he figures it out in the fight. He doesn't.
This is one thing you have to remember about these battles. These fights are to the death.
Yeah.
I'm sticking with Karnak on this one.
To the death, I think Deathstroke could kill Karnak before Karnak could kill Deathstroke. So that'll put Karnak with that slight advantage because of how far you willing to go. And you can't win if you don't kill.
With the
wait a minute, you must not know nothing about the Inhumans, then.
Yeah, the humans aren't afraid to kill.
Karnak is not a pacifist.
Yeah,
I don't remember him ever killing nobody
in the TV series.
I mean, I ain't never seen him kill nobody because I ain't gonna say what they have because they had comic books with Squirrel Girl kill all Thanos, and that was mind blowing. Anyway,
but that was some pocket universe. That's not canon, yo. That's like Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Right, so where we go from here? I think
I think Deathstroke, man, because of all the different weapons that he uses and whatnot. Karnak can end up tiring after a while, and Deathstroke's stamina is fucking ridiculous.
Man, all this is mind blowing. What about you, GKB?
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with Karnak, to be honest with you.
Karnak?
I mean, Deathstroke's stamina and all that stuff, and Deathstroke can like study him as much as he wants to, and maybe be a couple of steps here and there. But I think if it goes any further than a few minutes, like I think Karnak's gonna win out.
Yeah, he'll outthink him in a long shot.
Yeah. I mean, he's already that far into like a minute into the fight.
Hey, well, that's a good one.
Hard not to pick Karnak at this point.
What about you, Knuckles?
I stand by Karnak.
Collider, you going with the Deathstroke?
Yep.
And you E-Rock Deathstroke, right?
Yeah, I gotta pick Deathstroke, man, to break up this monotony of mediocrity. Damn. Forget it. Forget about Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. This is Do You Remember Me? Because damn, I don't know.
Hey, what
Jesus
it?
Christ.
What is?
Yo, but
Three-
Karnak actually had his own TV show recently, bro. You ain't watch it, the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Didn't they cancel that piece of shit?
Oh man.
And after the
They
first
made it through the
episode,
first. They made it through the first season, man. They made it through the first season.
that was the one thing.
No.
That was the
That
one.
movie
That
was-
was the one thing Marvel had that failed. I was so happy that week.
See, my that
You know how bad the
I was
people
so
were
sad
that
about
actually
that
went to see it in IMAX the first 2 episodes? They wanted their money back after they saw it.
because the fact that the guy who shot it was already mad about the fucking whole movie situation, and everything, because that's why they had it split between the TV shows and the movies anyway. So he said,
Oh, they'll make excuses.
"No, I was
I'm gonna go
No,
with
I'm
Deathstroke too. Then
Come on.
anything right. Like they couldn't even get Black Bolt right."
So how
Like,
many
that's
we
what-
got?
3 for Deathstroke, 2 for Karnak. So
I mean,
Deathstroke win.
So Chuck sided with Deathstroke.
Yep.
That's what's
All
up.
right. All right. Connect out of here. Now we're gonna put Deathstroke against
Versus Hardy.
Captain America.
Captain
Ooh.
America. I have to go
No
with
po-
Deathstroke.
No powers.
No powers. Yeah, that's pretty much Deathstroke then.
Damn.
I
Yeah.
mean, well, you got to think
Take his
too is
powers
that
away, he becomes like a regular-
but how can he take away his powers when that's what that with the super soldier serum, it's in his DNA. You can't take that away without taking away Captain America.
Yeah, because if you take it away, it'd just be Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
But he'll still be happy. Well,
Yeah, he'd be skinny Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
I'll
All
give Deathstroke.
Nah, we gonna cancel. We just gonna cancel Captain America because y'all
All
right.
right.
And we just gonna put Wolverine in his place.
All right, because if you use you could use Deathstroke superhuman strength because Deathstroke is superhuman.
But
You know what I'm saying? We was just going off of fighting abilities, but if you really want to put him against Cap, now Wolverine, remember he got some adamantium lace bones, man. He ain't gonna feel no punches. This dude
I was
throws
gonna
at
say,
him.
are we
No.
counting his augments?
No augments, just his fighting.
No augments, just his fighting ability.
Yep.
Deathstroke.
Yeah, I'd say Deathstroke.
Remember,
Yeah,
Wolverine
man,
went
good
to
point.
Japan and got his ass kicked with the fucking adamantium. So Deathstroke.
he made sure we didn't forget about that. So what you think, Bloody?
I'm gonna go with Wolverine on this one.
Wolverine? What about you, GKB?
It's a toss up for me, but like once you take away the healing factor, the adamantium, and all that.
Well,
kind
remember
of stuff,
that he is still a skilled martial artist, and
he is. But Deathstroke is also like a sniper and all that kind of stuff too, and just pretty much shoot him far away, and then he can't heal and he'll just die. So,
But Wolverine is also skilled in all that. Remember, Wolverine helped train Captain
And he was in
America.
the army too.
yeah, he's been doing this for quite some time.
Well, I'm going
You
with
remember
Cap.
that 19?
No,
Yeah, that
Wolverine.
1980 comic, the Wolverine. Wolverine
Yeah.
went to Japan and folded quicker than Zaire seen some exclusives. So yeah, I'm sticking with Deathstroke.
Shit, this is turning into fucking weapon wheel over here.
I think with
I know that.
like him like researching, and all that kind of stuff, I think he'd win out. So I'm gonna go. with
Deathstroke. So that's 3 for Deathstroke, 2 for Wolverine. Damn, Wolverine. You was one of my favorites. Not the favorite, but one of my favorites. But I think it's Deathstroke. He going to the next round.
Yep.
Man, you gonna name
Okay.
every Marvel character they have that's undiscovered.
Let's put Deathstroke against Wonder Woman.
So her being an Amazon, does that mean she wouldn't that be?
I know.
She still keeps her powers because it's like part of her.
Nah, that's part of being a demigod, not an Amazon.
That's true, I guess.
So how would her strength level decrease? But then she did all that training too. So would it matter?
Yeah, I don't know.
She's still a warrior.
Right. I go with Wonder Woman. All my feminists gonna have my back.
I don't know, man. I'm probably gonna go with Deathstroke on this one too.
Wonder Woman got bodied.
Oh no, man. Yeah, so what about you, Iraq?
Without her godlike powers,
Yeah.
I mean, the Amazons, they're some amazing fighters, but I don't think she beats Deathstroke just based on fighting skills with no powers. Like, I gave it a Deathstroke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it look like Deathstroke gonna be going around to the next round. He,
All right, now this just become one-sided.
Let's see how he does against Torg the Abuser. Let's see what he. Yeah.
All right, since we gonna go there, let's put Deathstroke up against Shang-Chi.
Ooh, the master of kung fu.
Now we're talking about.
I go with Shang-Chi. I go with Shang-Chi. Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Oh, I know Shang-Chi.
Mm-hmm.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, so no more death. What about you, Bloody? Even though I done heard 4 people say Shang-Chi, so yours really don't count, but I still want to hear it.
For me on this one, I would go with Deathstroke on this against Shang-Chi.
Yeah, yours didn't matter anyway, because that don't make no sense. Man, do you know who Shang-Chi is?
To be honest, I don't know who Shang-Chi is.
Oh man, that's why.
Oh wow.
He's from the 70s, dude. He was the master of kung fu, and he's so notorious that one of his main enemies was Fu Manchu. I mean, this is back when I was a kid. That's why I said the 70s.
He used to be an Avenger, bro.
He was an Avenger?
Yeah.
Holy shit. What, like a West Coast Avenger?
Nah, he was actually one of the Avengers.
Wow. Well, then again, they got Hawkeye, so I guess anybody can get an Avengers. So, yeah.
Yo, look, Shang-Chi is an extraordinary martial artist of numerous unarmed and weaponry-based wushu styles, including the use of the gun, nunchaku, and jijiang.
Yeah, he's a badass combatant in a fight, but in the Avengers, ain't gonna do a hell of a whole lot of good against the Kree Empire or the Skrulls. But yeah,
well, the Avengers he was part of was the Secret Avengers. Just to clear it up, he's part of the Secret Avengers, Heroes for Hire for a minute, MI6. He worked with James Bond, I guess.
Damn.
Oh man. So who you said GKB?
Yeah, I'm not too versed. I mean, I know who Shang-Chi is, but I never really read any of his comic books. But yeah, he's a pretty good fighter and stuff. My thing is, like, with the distance thing of Deathstroke, like, is that a factor? I don't know. I'll pick Deathstroke just to be different.
Yeah, but if you think about it, like you were saying, wouldn't that be part of his super ability from his long range being a sniper?
Is that really
have to do with his, like, it's an enhanced ability to make him so good?
Did you just pay attention that this man just said that Shang-Chi is also a master at using a gun?
Yeah. I'll still stick with Deathstroke.
And with his regular fighting skills, he has beaten numerous superhuman opponents. All right, just his fighting skill alone. He doesn't have any superpowers.
His fighting skill is considered a superpower.
I know,
because he's so good. So that E-Rock, you said that's one.
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, yeah, 1, 2.
Look, check this out. Even to clear things up. Being referred by some as the greatest empty-handed fighter and practitioner of Kung Fu alive, much of his physical ability seemed to stem from his master of Qi. which often allows him to surpass physical limitations of normal athletes. He has also demonstrated the ability to dodge bullets from machine guns and sniper rifles, and is able to deflect gunshots with his bracers.
Do you guys know what that
Shang-Chi
means?
with body.
That means he never masturbates, so that makes him super strong.
A lot of anger build up inside, huh?
Yeah, man.
But so that's what 3-2 right there. Then. So Shang-Chi win.
Yep.
Yeah, because I knew he couldn't be shot with a sniper rifle, man. I've read too many things back in the day with this dude just dodging bullets. Yo, it was like you would just sense it. It's like, swoop. It's like, oh, okay, this dude on some shit.
Man, after this, you know you're gonna have to do this again next week. Because I mean, I ain't gonna better come halfway near. So.
All right.
That's why I said you had to pull out Shang-Chi earlier, man. Like that Gamora fight where who did Gamora go up against? Bronze Tiger? Bronze Tiger would have been bodied.
All right. Now, this gonna end it. Shang-Chi versus the immortal Iron Fist.
You got your wish, Kaleidoscope.
Oh wow!
Oh,
but without the Iron Fist, though.
Yeah, without
yeah, definitely without the Iron Fist.
Even with
Shang-Chi.
the skill, even with the skill that Iron Fist has in martial arts, without being able to use the Iron Fist himself, he ain't got much going for him.
Mm-hmm.
Being a skilled martial artist can only go so far, especially against someone like Shang-Chi.
What you mean?
Yeah, you gotta explain yourself.
Huh?
Explain.
You gotta explain yourself.
Well, you were saying that without the powers of what they could do. I was like, Iron Fist is absolutely a
you do realize who was one of Shang-Chi mentors, right?
No, because I know nothing about Shang-Chi.
Iron Fist.
Get the hell out of here.
Hey, you shut the hell up.
No, I didn't. I'm saying it because I didn't know that. That's news to me.
Hold on, what I had missed? I know I should have been pouring at the same time. What happened?
So Shang-Chi trained Iron Fist, right?
No, Iron Fist trained Shang-Chi.
So
So Shang-Chi outdone him, and he's better at this point. So I'd probably still take Shang-Chi over Iron Fist, especially if you're taking away Iron Fist.
Yeah.
But he still has his chi.
Well, I mean, so does Shang-Chi, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've already discussed that he's master of gun, nunchucks, and everything else. So I'd probably still take Shang-Chi over Iron Fist.
So Shang-Chi?
Yep.
You what about you, Kalada? Who you said?
Is that Iron Fist's powers stem from his chi? That's how he gets his he channels the power of the Iron Fist. All right, because it's also called natural energy or life force energy to enhance its natural abilities to extraordinary levels. The strength, speed, and stamina, durability, agility, reflexes, and senses can be greatly intensified using just his chi, not just his the fist thing that he normally be concentrating on.
Thank you, Kalila.
All right, so dude, I don't know, man. I think they'd kill each other. I think they'd kill each other, yo.
I still go
I
with
don't see a vector in that.
If I had to choose, I'll go with Shang-Chi too. So me and GKB say Shang-Chi. What about you?
Bloody said too.
Blood, that what you said too?
Yeah, I stuck with Shang-Chi.
All right, so that's 3. What about you, E-Rock?
I gotta go with Shang-Chi. I mean, what's the point of being called the master of kung fu if you can't kick this punk's ass? So I'm going with that. I don't care about this Iron Fist. I don't like his Netflix show either. I'm picking Shang-Chi.
All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And Collider, I ain't know which one you had said. Because you kind of like
Nah, I
put it in
thought
the
they'd
air.
kill each other. I
Yeah.
thought they'd kill each other. Their abilities are too evenly matched.
All right, well, you're gonna go with the fifth.
Because
Collider played the
they
fifth.
call Iron Fist the living weapon. They call him that for a reason. Yeah,
Okay.
you're thinking about the Netflix show. That's not Iron Fist.
Yeah.
You need to read the comic books of Iron Fist.
I'm talking about the comic, but that's why I said the immortal Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So I understand. Know what I'm saying? With y'all limited knowledge, I can understand why y'all would say Shang-Chi. Know what I'm saying? It's all good. But he's the living weapon. You're the immortal living weapon. He is a weapon.
Well, I still say Shang-Chi.
Was he? Why was it? Was Iron Fist ever in the Avengers? I know he was in the Defenders.
No,
Iron Fist.
He's teamed up with them, but he's never actually gone out with them.
Yeah, because he went because Iron Fist was always on that "fuck you, pay me."
Yo. Check this out. Iron Fist team affiliations: the New Avengers, Heroes for Hire, Defenders, the Immortal Weapons, and Thunderbolts.
Yeah, I mean he was affiliated with it, but he wasn't an actual member.
I don't know, guys. See, you got you guys got a lot of comic knowledge, but see, I grew up in the 70s and 80s, and in 1984, if you didn't make it into Marvel Superhero Secret Wars, your ass was a Z-lister. And guess who didn't make it into the Secret Wars?
Hey,
Iron Fist and Black Panther.
Yeah, but hey, so therefore
the Beyonder only picked the best.
Mm-hmm.
So that mean that
he didn't think about Shang-Chi though, man.
Hey, that mean Iron Fist going under the guillotine.
Yep.
Iron Fist going under the guillotine.
Oh shit.
Well, I like to say it was you had to put up a good fight. You was holding it down for Marvel. And before I cut your head off, and I ain't gonna ask anybody to have any last words for you, but I want to hear E-Rock after I cut his head off. I want you to give a moment of silence of about your opinion of Jessica Jones. Well, anyway, Iron Fist, off with your head.
Wow.
Hey, quality gonna get better. It's going to better and better every day. But anyway, though, man, I had a good time enjoying myself with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to kick Iron Fist's head out my way because it's been gone.
We are here with your latest.
Excuse me, technical difficulties. Hey, one thing I want to ask before you go out, I just want to hear because this got to be hilarious. E-Rock, what's your impressions is on Jessica Jones?
Jessica Jones, I haven't seen not one episode of that show, but I will say this much: I'm very interested in the actress that plays her, Kristen Ritter, and I've got a lot of questions I want to ask her, but they're not about Jessica Jones. That's all I can say about that.
Well, you just disappointed me. I thought you were gonna say something crazy. But
no, I got nothing bad to say about her. That's a sexy bit. Excuse me, a sexy young lady. Gotta keep it PG after all the cussing.
Yeah,
you probably would enjoy the first season of Jessica Jones.
Oh man,
that's all she did through the whole first season.
Yep.
Where can I catch the show at again?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Okay. Oh fuck, another subscription. Oh well.
So what about you, GKB?
About Jessica Jones?
Yeah.
To be honest, it doesn't really strike me as a show I want to watch. I haven't really watched any of it. I watched the Defenders and stuff, and I just really didn't like her character that well. So she doesn't really interest me.
All right, well, both of y'all got 2 cool points in my book right now because I can't stand Jessica Jones.
Oh no!
I know because Colada and Bloody, they love Jessica Jones, and me and Savage, we can't stand her. So I just wanted to see two other opinions.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
All right, well,
I don't like. I told you I don't like soft porn.
Yeah, well,
like I said, I understand people's complaints that it's slow for a lot of people, and maybe definitely hard to get in. There's no denying that. I won't. If that's not for you, definitely, I understand. I personally enjoyed it, but everyone.
Yeah, we all know you enjoyed it.
Man, y'all crazy. Man. Hey, say Kaladi, you want to go on ahead and bring us about this thing, man?
Yeah. All right, so everybody, it was a good podcast. Thanks for everybody that joined the panel today, to E-Rock X and to GKB. Loved having you guys here. This was a blast. And everybody tune in next week, man, on the same YouTube channel, same YouTube time, and we out.
Later.
See you.
The time had changed sometime.